here to show you guys our SC and our CC pant. You're probably already familiar with the SC pant. We've had that for a few years now. It's a 3-layer Gore-Tex pant. If you're looking for something a little bit lighter, a little bit more of that newer style, that jogger cut, that would be our CC pant. Just came out here, it has the drawstring waist. It's got a little bit of taping in it. It is water resistant throughout, and it's got a reinforced knee region. The CC pant features a tapered leg similar to a jogger cut, but it's going to give you a little bit more room than the average pant. The pant's available in sizes small all the way to XXL and is available at crbnpaintball.com.
Communication, obviously, everybody knows is a big deal on the field. The way that you can talk to each other on the field with this mask on is something I've never experienced before. It's very breathable, and I feel like you hear that a lot from other companies, but this is truly different in my opinion. Every time I'm yelling, I can still hear people next to me talking. We were kind of climbing up the ranks when Carbon was kind of too. Walker and those guys have just been awesome to us. You know, anytime they're testing new stuff, they hit us up. It's not like a one-way conversation. It just felt like with some other sponsors in the past. They understand that like people like me don't like to have, you know, crazy thick arm pads with a jersey that has stuff on your wrists and stuff like that. It's stay as light as possible so you're comfortable, you know, in these hot days. Every year we have a choice to go somewhere else with our sponsorship, and after 4 or 5 years with these guys, we're still here. Like, we're still next to Carbon because we choose to be.
Diesel! Emo and nasty! White! Remember to roll! Billy, I'm with you! Let's go, Billy! Let's go, Billy! He's showing us who we are! Woo! Hey, team paintball hitters, way to go, boys! Dynasty! Let's go, boys!
What's up, I'm Matty Marshall. We're here at the very first NXL event of the year, the Sunshine State Major, and it's Thursday. This is training day, it's practice day. It's time to sharpen those swords and get ready for the battle that's about to go down. So many crazy stories with the 20 pro teams and then all the semi-pro teams, all down the divisions of WNXL. It's going to be absolute madness here in 2023. So we're here for this practice session. We're gonna go and check out, talk to some of these players and see what's going on in their minds as they get ready for this battle. Let's go check it out.
You got to set the tone. You know, in the first event, you got to set the tone for the year. Make sure that you're building with your teammates and making a great debut on the new season.
We're really hungry, and I think the entire team feels really good. That's key when you're playing pro paintball, to have some fun when you're playing, and definitely Impact's going to be a force to reckon with.
Hard work and discipline, and that's what we're just working on. This is what they've been beating in our head the whole last few weeks is discipline, discipline, discipline. So we're just working on that the whole time.
First event's always fun, but it feels like there was no off season. You know, we were just in Florida, and now we're back.
Right now, it's a new season. Everyone's 0-0. So when I got that jersey with my name on it, it was pretty cool.
Coming to this year, everyone is hungry. Half of them are all best friends. We all grew up in the same neighborhood. They've been playing with each other for 10 years, same fields.
The Hurricanes are as prepared as we can be. Put in the work. We're going to see if it pays off. All we got to do is execute now because this first event really sets the pace for the rest of the season.
Just finished with the practice session for the professional teams as we're heading into day one of this first event of the year.
This side is going to be the more chaotic area, but it all depends on how the teams want to play.
There's a huge brick in the middle of the field. We're going to see the battle ensue all throughout these bunkers in the middle. It's going to be madness. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be a lot of fun.
The biggest thing is seeing what that other team does off the break and how much pressure you're going to apply with that breakout.
So all the preparation, all the training, and all the off-season moves, all that is in the past. The battle is going to be going down here on center court for the first event of the NXL season, and it's going down all weekend long. Can't wait to see it.
Diesel! Emo and nasty! White! Remember to roll! Billy, I'm with you! Let's go, Billy! Let's go, Billy!
Yeah. Gotta aim for the top like. Hold up. Yeah. I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. Putting on for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babylon, they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Flow is like water. I'm forced through the fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding. You do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center. Word to Spike Lee. And God came in the nick of time. They think I'm crazy, but I might be. Let's run it up, run it up, run it up. We beating the odds just to sum it up. You know it's a rap, never waistlines, and I'm cutting the weight like a tummy tuck. That mean I'm about to give it out right now. You see what's coming down the line, I never pipe down. I give 100% of me, trying to stun on my enemies. In my element, as crazy as that might sound. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know. Rumor has it. I'm a savage. Drop the classic. Thinking back. Drop the classic. To establish that the magic. It's automatic. Got a mask. Who was that? Living legend. Lethal weapon. Mastermind. Never tired. Tell them all. Big dreams, I got big dreams just like baby. I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings used to be so stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-whites. Play with the fire, you get burned. All of my struggles became lessons well learned. I got desires that keep me grounded, that's for sure. Cause one day we gon' make it out this earth. Where's your worth? I'm sick of your talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broken. If I am in second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let them know. I'm the headline, the deadline. I'm ahead time, the rare kind. I'm a living legend, lethal weapon, mastermind. Big time. The king is back like prodigal. I've been gone. I gave him time, it's been too long. Was silent calm, but now the storm. I'm not the one you can't ignore. I never politic, if I want it, I'ma get mine. Never fake the funk, can't perform for your empire. Snatch him out the throne, make them all fall in line. I let the clock tick, count down, cause I'm sick of your talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broken. If I am in second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let them know. I'm the headline, the deadline. I'm ahead time, the rare kind. I'm a living legend, lethal weapon, mastermind. Big time.
Out of the ashes, a phoenix arises. Faith of a mustard seed can move any mountains. The people are watching, so I cannot stop it. Been down for too long, now I gotta rock it. Had to get it out the mud, you know how it goes. Now we sitting at the top, had to bring the bros. Never thought I'd be the one who would play the role. Now look at where we at, man, who would've known? Temperature rising, I feel the pressure is on me. Luckily, I've been out here building an army. Camouflage on a ride, we run this party. We kick them out the game, cause they wanna come tardy. This is for the ones who've been chasing their goals. If they was sleeping on their kid, now they better be woke. Lights, camera, action, we ready to roll. Alright, places, everybody, let's put on a good show.
I'm sick of your talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broken. If I am in second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let them know. I'm the headline, the deadline. I'm ahead time, the rare kind. I'm a living legend, lethal weapon, mastermind. Big time.
For event number 2 on the 2023 tour, the NXL is heading to Texas, where the battle between the best paintball teams in the world is going down in Round Rock, outside of Austin. Last year we saw Tampa Bay Damage rise again and break their decade-long win drought to make history with the win over Edmonton Impact in a triple one-on-one overtime. Can Damage summon the spirit and skill needed for 2 in a row, or will a new squad hoist the Texas trophy? Tune into GoSports.com, April 28th through the 30th, for another epic Lone Star State showdown.
Jumping into point number 1 here, the wild card round at the 2023 NXL Sunshine State Major. Most important day of the tournament. And Matty Marshall here with Rich Telford. And in this first set, it's going to be the New Orleans Hurricanes taking on Infamous Bears and Energy Elite. Again, wild card round, do or die moments here on Sunday. And looks like a good break here for the Hurricanes so far, Rich.
Both teams make a good breakout 5-on-5. Infamous just lost their first player from the Dorito side wedge. He should get out the field before he draws a penalty.
Yeah, so they are going to be pulling that body out.
4-on-5 advantage here for the Hurricanes. Good morning, everybody, and welcome.
It's a little chilly out here this
morning.
morning.
No, it's freezing, Matt. It's freezing.
Yeah.
If only we had some of that tasty Infamous coffee to keep us warm.
I mean, I definitely can see my breath, so that means that not too many bounces we're probably going to see out of this morning.
He can see it. I can smell it, guys. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so 5-on-5 break, and no one taking any risks here.
Nope. Well, Infamous took a big bite on the break. I don't know if you can see it. He went snake 50 on the break.
Oh, did he? Okay.
And it was so fast, I'm not even sure who it was. Probably Jambros, maybe.
Yeah, no, there he is. Yeah, Jonah. So, yeah, so definitely aggressive breakout here for Infamous. Sorry, he's blocked out, but...
Did you say you were blacked out?
No, blocked
out.
Oh,
sorry.
I know the coffee hasn't kicked in yet, and daylight savings time. It's a little early. But, yeah, so minute and a half ticking off the clock here. Jonah still in a good spot. Still 5-on-5. So
5-on-4.
5-on-4. Did they get killed?
Yeah, Infamous lost the first guy on the wing.
Oh, okay. And from the wing.
Yep, and Hurricanes just get out to the Dorito corner, so 5 across the line there. Infamous with a little bit more of an aggressive posture with 1 in the 50 snake. They got Callie Rudolph behind him in the center wedge. Wrestleback now filling to the Dorito corner. Looks like he got out there live. 5-on-4 advantage here for the Hurricanes. Hurricanes are playing this field really well, Matt. They're very controlled. They're very disciplined. This is a good field for them, good stylistically speaking.
Yeah, man, the Hurricanes, great story. Just moving up the ranks throughout the years and really working hard to increase their skills so they could compete in the Pro Division. And you know, they made some Sundays last year. Very impressive performance in Chicago in the prelims where they went undefeated. But the question, right, for these, like Infamous has won tournaments before. A lot of different guys since the last time they got a victory. I think 2017 was the last time we saw Infamous hoist a trophy for first place. But the Hurricanes have never won a pro paintball tournament. But Jesus, they're getting really good. They've now made a Sunday again in their second pro year. First event, they picked up Nick Ripple, one of the best snake players, and that team's deep. I mean, man to man, on that roster, they got a lot of options.
Yeah, and it's a great story, right, too, because they do a lot with a little, right? They don't have a ton of money. They don't have a ton of big budget, not a ton of big sponsors, but they really work really hard. They've been playing together for a long time. They have a good coaching structure, just a good, solid program.
And Mike Bianca been doing a great job.
He's doing a great job. I kind of thought he was going to be in the running for Coach of the Year.
But so the question I have, though, is that, because we keep seeing this with these younger pro teams that are making some Sundays, but they can't get out of the first round. Other than Level took third and Energy Elite did get into the quarters, but it's just very few times have we seen these up-and-coming pro teams that have proven that they
so
can make
hard,
Sunday
man.
to
It's
get
so hard.
past the first
That's
round.
That's the next step, right?
Right.
This is they had to get past their first plateau as we get to Sunday, right? Then it's the next plateau is top 8. Then the next plateau is top 4.
Yeah.
And then at some point you're like, hey man, we're playing for first and second, bro. This is a big deal. But it takes a long way to get there, and that's why it's so meaningful when you do get there and you do succeed.
Well, if the Hurricanes could find a way to knock out Infamous. Infamous was playing this field really aggressively yesterday. It was fun to watch them play. They put up 8 points in one game. Some of these games are finishing with the final combined score of 2-1.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to say significantly less than 8.
Yeah, so Infamous going 2-2, keeping the game, the loss they had against Dynasty in their last match close to, and they had a good point spread. So, but they caught a wild card berth, and that's currently where it stands right now. So similar situation. Jonah's still up there. Tactical retreat though for Infamous to get back, and now outside wide. Did they lose another body that we didn't see?
Not that I know of, man. I think it's 5-on-4. I think Infamous is in the Dorito 1, Dorito corner, Snake corner, and Jambros in the center, the wing, 50 Snake.
Yeah, it's 5-on-4 still. Just by the way that the player on the Snake side was repositioning, I thought maybe an extra body had snuck off.
Well, what's probably going on, Matt, is the pace of this point is so fast, you're probably missing some stuff out there because of the way the guys are just flying down the field.
Well, Stuart Ridgell's now moved up here to try to get a little closer to Jonah Jamrose. Stuart Ridgell now going to back up off the spot.
I like the way he's kind of probing there, playing over the top, Matt, using those eyes, trying to find what Jamrose is doing, where his gun is. Man, I watched that point again yesterday where Jamrose had the Ryan behind him. Shooting and switching like that was amazing. He may be a robot.
Yeah, Jonah getting pretty good. He's having a good event. So that's the question for Infamous is, second place overall 2 seasons ago, and then they lost Greg Sewers, and then they lost Harrison this year. So, who's going to emerge as the elite offensive threat to take over for those guys? Well, Jonah may be that guy, but right now he's going to get diced up by Stuart Ridgell, who is definitely an elite offensive threat for Hurricanes. He's one of the best players on that team. Constantly keep seeing him do things like this, and then he's going to come back. So just,
I love that.
I love it too. Infamous not able to protect Jonah, and Stuart makes him pay. And then look at this, he goes right back to his spot.
3-on-5 advantage now for the Hurricanes, and this is so important. First point of this match here Sunday morning, Matt. This is a big point here for the Hurricanes. They're the underranked team here. They're in a 5-on-3 situation as Brusselback pushes up to 50. The Hurricanes lose their first player, Matt. 4-on-3 now.
Yeah, body drop.
4-on-2, sorry.
Body dropping from the D side, but they still have a pretty good crossfield spread. They have another body on that D side, and then Stuart's actually going to go all the way over. No one's shot a paintball at Stuart Ridgell for probably about a minute and a half.
Yeah, his force field is very strong. He's reading this field very, very well, right? He's going to all the spots, blocking everybody out. Makes it look like he's just standing there in the open, but he's actually using bunkers all over the field to block out the opposing players.
I'm wondering if he knows there's a body in D4.
He saw. Oh,
see, I don't think he did, because the way
he saw him go in from the Snake. I thought.
I don't think so, because the way he was playing that. Oh, but they lose Brusselback. So Brusselback thought was going to have a chance to turn the tables here.
I think it's a 3-on-1 or 3-on-2, Matt. I think it's 3-on-2. I think Infamous just has the 2 corners, and Hurricanes have the Snake corner, this 50 Snake, and the Dorito 2. This is a really, really important point here for the Hurricanes. If they can win this point, kind of control this beginning of the match, it's going to put the emphasis on Infamous to next point push forward into the guns of the Hurricanes, and that's going to be challenging on this field. They're playing it very controlled.
Well, with what we saw in the prelims and the majority of the games is if you do go up early, it just makes it so much easier for you on this specific layout. Some layouts, comebacks are much easier, but this layout, you go up a couple points and play fundamental paintball after that, it's just really hard to crack through that defensive line. So yeah, they still have a bit of work to do. Looks like 1 body left alive for Infamous in the back corner bunker.
I think it's 1 in each corner, Matt.
Is it each
2-on-2?
Okay, so 2-on-3, right? 2-on-3?
Am I missing a Hurricane? Oh, that's right. There's a Hurricane player first. Sorry.
Pate's at the 50
Snake. Yeah, so there's 2 players on the 50. 50 Snake, 50 Dorito, and then 1 in the Snake corner behind for the Hurricanes. 3-on-2 advantage for the Hurricanes.
Now for Infamous, if Infamous could find a way to win this low body situation, it would be a huge momentum and a mental boost for them.
Well, but both of these coaches are thinking about the clock right now, right? The Hurricanes guys are like, hey, if the longer this point goes, as long as we win, the better it is for us. Infamous is starting to think, hey, man, if we're going to lose this really, really long point, we probably don't want to lose any more time than we have to. At some point, they're going to either have to try to go forward and win this point, or the coach is going to have to concede the point if the Hurricanes just sit there with really discipline.
Well, Pate with a little retreat to try to get a better angle on that D side. Player for Infamous goes into Dorito 1 from the back corner, and then they still have Callie Rudolph in this back corner bunker over here on the snake side. He just popped the top to try to maybe catch one of the Hurricanes players making a move, but the Hurricanes players are still in their current spots.
Pate just grabbed for a clip, and there was no clips in his harness. He's like, oh, cool, no paint, awesome.
Yeah, Pate's out of paint. I think his teammate in the D side, I don't see many pods on his back. And then I can't see Nick Ripple's pack, but he can't have much paint left either. Nick Ripple's still anchoring things in the back corner bunker on the snake side. Wouldn't mind to see him move up here as they have the extra body, right? When you have a 3-on-2 situation, we're always looking at the 3 indicate, and we'll ask the question, who has the ball? That means who should be the one making the moves based on who's getting either the least amount of pressure or, given the situation, must be the one to make the move from a tactical perspective. And I think that Ripple could probably get up here a little bit, and he must have heard me, because he has now moved up into the Eastern bunker snake side and looking like he's going to go into the snake. So nice job by Nick Ripple here to get into the game, and he's going to get to the 50 brick.
Here goes the move. Infamous player goes from Dorito 1, Dorito 2, now Dorito 3. Infamous looking to push up on the Dorito side. Got to be careful, though, because, again, Nick Ripple is in their snake. He actually has a shot crossfield in Dorito. He hasn't seen it yet. Now he sees it. Does he? Let's see if he can hit it, Matty. He sees it. Oh, Infamous steps up into it.
I think he got the shot in on him. He did.
Okay.
Nice shot by Nick Ripple. And that is going to do it. So the Hurricanes took some time, did it smart, burnt a ton of time off the clock. I mean, there's only 5 minutes and 39 seconds left.
Man, that was control paintball 101, and very impressive for such a young team. A young team of old men. Such a young team of old men.
Young as in pro experience.
Yes.
Older as in years of age for the actual humans on the roster.
Two interesting matches here this morning. This is a very interesting match with the Bears and NRG, because NRG is kind of an offensive, attacking, probing team, and the Bears are kind of a controlled cross-up team. And we'll see which one prevails here based on their skills in this layout.
Well, the Brooklyn Bears had a great day on day 1.
Yep,
but
2-0.
Day 2, not as good, as they dropped both their matches, but still able to catch a wild card berth. And they're going to go pretty aggressive here as they send Baltimore all the way into Snake 1 off the break. So gutsy play call, but it works out for them.
Great position for both teams. 5 alive for both teams. Both teams with a player in that key center bunker. Brooklyn Bears, first team to get into the snake. Snake 1 looking inside.
So good position for the Bears with Joey Altimore here in Snake 1 and Jared Sester right beside him. Sester played really well for him in day 1.
Yeah, good 1-2 combo there.
Yeah, and then Travis Trawick's been playing great for Energy Elite from this wedge.
I think it's Trawick.
Trawick?
I'm sorry, they asked me this morning. The dad called to correct it. I believe it's Trawick. I guess in that area, that's the way it's pronounced. Trawick. We'll try to get it right. Sorry. I told him if he keeps playing as well as he played yesterday, we will get his name down really well.
Much easier if his last name was like Smith.
Yeah, Bob.
Telford.
Yes.
Something just rolls off the tongue.
Something smooth and buttery. Both teams, good communication, just probing each other, trying to find out exactly where the bodies are, where those guns are pointing from those positions, and where they might have an advantage. Trying to avoid, obviously, putting themselves in a disadvantage. Trying to make good decisions on their gunfighting. Trying to put pressure on the other team, but not so much pressure where you get dinked out by somebody. These first points of the match, especially on this field, are hyper-critical. You need to be able to go out and win this first point as slowly and smartly as you can, so the next point it forces the team to come into attack, and on this field, it's very easy to be defensive.
I'm just going to call him Travis from now on.
Travis.
Call him by his first name.
Trawick. And I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, not the way I'm supposed to, but eventually I'll get it, I promise.
Well, it's T-R-A, so Trawick, not Trawick?
I think it's Trawick.
Okay.
I think that's just the way it's pronounced up there.
Cool.
I don't think it was our bad. I think it'd be a little extra critical, but, we want to be perfect, so.
Well, it's like we always say, I'm going to butcher your name until you tell me the proper pronunciation, unless it is some super vanilla name.
For me, it's not even that. Like, if you played really good paintball, I will know your name, right? If you stand out on the field, I will definitely know your name. I will know how to pronounce your name eventually. It's a process, right? First get recognized, then give me the time and I'll pronounce it.
There comes Sester. Jared comes through.
Nice. Trawick knows he's there, I believe. This might be a trade here on Energy side of the field. Oh, here we go, roundy round.
Who's going to be the one to stay alive?
Oh, Trawick.
So Trawick does stay alive in that, so it's a tough break there for Sester.
Wow, he gets 2, Matty.
Yeah, Travis balling out again. He's been a huge component of the offense for Energy Elite.
Oh, Travis Trawick? Yeah, he is
Yeah, the
having
guy.
an amazing game.
Remember the name, boys. Remember the name.
That was the best that could have gone for him there, right? Round to round, didn't get caught, and then ended up getting a bonus buddy on top of it.
You know, you got to be good. You got to get a little lucky, too.
That's right, man. You have to have some luck. You got to be really, really good, and you got to have some things go your way, and that went his way for sure. Might not be the move of the day, but it was the most entertaining move so far this morning.
Well, tell you what, we got $1,000 courtesy of the Smith family.
$1,000?
Yeah, Mary Catherine and Pate Smith.
Thank you,
family
paintball patrons.
Put up some money here.
We appreciate
for
it.
Best move.
Bears dropping another player from the Drew side. Sakaguchi taking the walk, Matty. Treywig gets another elimination. I believe it's a 5-on-1 now, Matt, with Energy having a big advantage here.
Well, Treywig, MVP of that one. But a full court press from Energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Five bodies live.
I mean, perfect point.
I mean, Treywig did all the work, shot everybody, but the other guys did a good job of watching him do it.
Sometimes those are the best
hey, just staying alive sometimes is all you got to do.
I used to love those points.
Yeah, when you don't really do anything.
Shooting your gun and you just start hearing just kills.
G1, G2, G3.
You're like, I think this is going great.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not shooting these guys. This game is going good, man. It's when you hit that, you just start hearing ups, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a rough one, boys. Cleaning crews in full effect.
Yeah. Why are we dying so much? So the Hurricanes up by 1, currently over Infamous, and not a lot of time left in this one. So Infamous is, I have no worries that Infamous is going to push the issue. They are they're proving to be one of the most aggressive teams out here in 2023, that's for sure.
That's always been their style, and they're just, they've got a good enough roster now that they can kind of get back to that style of paintball.
Also just so cool what Travis and Callie and the boys are doing with Pro DNA.
I love what Dynasty and Infamous is doing. I want the two companies to merge and make like one big paintball company. But let's keep that on DL. I don't want that getting out, okay?
So Infamous controlling those 50s, and quite often teams have been a little bit puzzled as to how to break into the cross once they get to the 50-yard lines. But Infamous has had enough reps on this field now because of the high level of aggression that they're probably going to be the teams that have could potentially be the team that's figured that out. But they're going to have to display that right now because they're down by 1. They have the spots. It's under 5 minutes to play, and look at the Hurricanes here on your screen, tucked in as tight as they possibly can. Not giving
no hoppers, no packs, right?
Yeah,
no hoppers, no packs.
Not giving Infamous anything.
And this is, I think, probably, if you ask the Hurricanes, like, how would you like to play this match? Like, we'd like to go up 1 point. We'd like to play super defensively, force Infamous to have to push into our guns through these huge gaps, get up a couple bodies, switch back to offense, win that point as long and slowly as possible. And Infamous is now forced to try to dink a couple. They spend a couple minutes trying to dink a guy out, but if they don't dink a guy out, they've got to start breaking themselves on the rocks of Gibraltar and just try to get up the field. And it's not going to be easy. 5-on-5 battle here still.
Yeah, not.
Callie's repositioning from the center Aztec.
Not do or die time quite yet here for Infamous as they still have 4 minutes to work with, but we go through another 2.5 minutes. They're going to have to start running into these guns.
It's interesting how everybody's kind of abandoned the center of that field, right? Where Friday and Saturday, there was constantly bodies up in the mix there.
I mean, Infamous has 2 bodies up there right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't see the center 50 guy. I apologize. I was like, I'm missing one guy out there.
Yeah, so both the 50s at the center of the field are currently occupied by Infamous, and they're crossed up. One shooting D side, one shooting Snake side, and they have help. I mean, the Infamous is loading up
good
some
support
bodies,
positions.
but
yeah.
it's almost getting time where they're going to need a couple more secondaries. They need to flood up the field. They need to get closer to these 2 attackers.
Oh no, Infamous might have just lost. Oh, that was a close one.
Yeah,
he's so far isolated from everybody that if they lose that guy, Infamous is in big trouble.
We're just talking about the back corner bunker on the Dorito side, but speaking of losing a guy, they're going to be losing Ryan Hall, and he comes off shaking his head in frustration, knowing that that's a tough death in a crucial moment. I mean, yeah, still 5-on-5, so it's not like they had a high body situation that they squandered, but we're down to 3 minutes. They're down.
It just makes it
they need a point.
little harder to win this next point, which they have to win.
Yeah.
Both teams are communicating really, really well. Both teams are really, really showing that they understand these fields. They understand what the lanes are. They know what's going on. They just haven't figured out how to break the puzzle yet. They haven't. Hurricanes are playing such tight paintball that they haven't been able to dink one of them out, so now they're going to have to start applying pressure and going forward. And on the worst case is if they lose more bodies, they're even going to have more pressure to go forward, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no matter what, they have to go forward unless they somehow win 3 gunfights. But the way the Hurricanes are tucked in so tight,
they're not gunfighting.
I don't see that's going to happen. They're not giving them anything. They're just controlling zones. They're not engaging in a reckless gunfight. They're tucked into their spots. They've walked this field. They've played it now through 4 games. This is their 5th game, and they know the zones they need to control. They're basically they're saying, hey, look, Infamous, we have a lead. We know you have those spots. We'll come get it.
Yeah, we know where we're at in this game, and we're playing appropriately, right? And we know from past experience, when you're on Infamous side of this right now, you have extra frustration because you want to go win this point for your team, but they're not giving you anything, right? They're not gunfighting you. They're not continually running their guns so you can follow the line back in and get a hopper. You can't make a big move and get a pack because of the gaps. So you start getting more and more frustrated, and you start pushing the envelope a little bit more and a little bit more, and then you tend to make mistakes.
Well, Infamous is getting down to it here. There is 1 minute and 36 seconds left to go. They haven't shot anybody from the Hurricanes. They've been at those 50s the entire point, and they have to start attacking. They don't have, I mean, they need to give themselves at least a good 40 seconds
and again,
to try to execute the chaos.
With the new schedule, this is, we're doing the finals matches in the mornings now, so this is the finals match. And that's why it's such a seriously slow and methodical game, because this is for first and second.
Yeah, this is indicative of what we are possibly going to see today. I don't mind it, though. I mean, this is just technical paintball. This is how it is.
It's super technical. I'm just warning you. If you like this pace, it might slow down a little bit later today. So don't expect this all day.
Everyone out there, by the way, we had our first Rich Stelford sarcasm this morning. We're actually in the wild card round right now, so we still got a lot of paintball to be played before we get to 1 and 2. But looking forward to it. Running referee coming back and checking out.
That's twice, yeah.
Yeah, now he's coming out. So
5-on-3, Matty.
It's Tim Brussel.
Yeah, he took a hard bounce earlier, got checked by the ref, but this time.
So now the options are very limited here for Infamous. They do not have any time. They cannot concede the point. They have to rush forward into these guns, and they haven't shot anybody yet. So here goes.
Hopefully they don't get a penalty.
Patience.
It's like Zach Patient there.
Yeah, Patience begging for a penalty. He's not going to get it. Callie Rudolph dives into the 50. Here comes Sam Silberg. He gets diced up.
5-on-1 here, Matty. Take it easy on Callie, guys. He's one of the good ones. Wow, Hurricanes look very, very good here, Matt. If I was in the Infamous pit right now, I'd be super concerned.
Oh, yeah, because they're going home. This is game over. Well, the situation here for the Hurricanes is it could not have gone better. When Mike Bianco was probably drawing this up, he's like, all right, here's what we're going to do, boys. We're gonna go up by 1. Hopefully 2, maybe 3, and then we're going to go defense. We're going to have them try to come in our guns, and hopefully we burn enough clock off that they're not going to be able to have a chance to come back. Now, maybe not thinking it was going to happen with the score this low, but still, that's all it took.
They just played the point that you and I talked about Thursday, right? What happens if one of the top, we assumed it was going to be impact or damage. What happens if a team like damage or impact gets up on you 1 point on this layout and decides to just go to these spots and do these things? What are you going to be able to do about it? And we were like, I don't know, man. I don't know if you can get through that cross.
We thought the same thing.
And a lot of times, again, teams have an extra weekend to figure this stuff out, right? But without having that extra weekend, these guys are out there scratching their heads like, hey, I don't know how to get through this cross, man.
Yeah, a lot of frustrated looks in the pits here for Infamous as they're going to be packing their bags and heading home. But Hurricanes are going to be moving on to play New York Extreme in the quarterfinals.
5-on-5 breakout, Matty, for both teams. Energy from the red side of the field. Brooklyn Bears from the blue. Energy winning that first point very easy off the work of Trey Garthen there in the center laydown. Got a few.
You mean Treywick?
Treywick, yeah, sorry. Got a few early eliminations and then closed out very well. Both teams in similar situation. Brooklyn with 3 over here on the snake side.
Do you think that we're going to see another situation? 11-minute point right here.
I don't know that Energy has the discipline to do that. That was what the Hurricanes just pulled off. It seems like it would be easy just to sit in one spot and not die and shoot a zone, but it's very, very disciplined. Very, very hard for a paintball player to have that kind of discipline. Our minds don't really work that way.
You have to change gears completely, right? That's what makes the top teams a top team. So, the Hurricanes came out and played, Stewart was all over the place in that first one. I mean, they were pushing the issue intelligently, and then they go hardcore defense. The teams that win paintball tournaments in the pro division have all the gears. They can play fast if the field requires or the situation requires it, and then they can dig in when they need to and play defense. If you play defense, you got to make your shots, and that's exactly what they did. So, yeah, does Energy Elite have that composure? We'll see. I mean, every tournament's a new tournament. Every day's a new day, and they've been training, and they keep looking better. I mean, they made a Sunday. They've made Sundays in the past, Now, the Brooklyn Bears also used to be Seattle Thunder, and they were 6th overall last year. So this could get interesting here as they got Sester back to his position. Again, he just always seems to be right at that wedge.
Yep.
Travis is going to scurry back to get a little bit different angle there on the snake side.
Well, and I like that. He's less vulnerable there, right? It's harder for them to run him. And again, being up by 1 point, NRG does not need to win this point. They just need to not lose this point. So he goes up there early. He exchanges, lets them know that they're there, comes back and kind of sets up the trap. If they try to come get him, he can protect himself.
Joey Altimore is in snake 1, Sester in the wedge, and they got a body right behind him as well too. So, well, here comes the battle going down right now as Jared moves forward to try to get the shot on Travis. Travis have something on his stomach.
Yep.
I think the referees, looks like she was gonna look at it real quick.
Yeah, it was something. It might just been rub off the bunker, but just like we said, Travis was up front, showed him where he was, went back, set the trap. He went through to try to get him. He wasn't there anymore and ended up staying alive.
Off of that chaos, though, Joey Altimore was able to make it into the 50-yard line, and he does have a body right behind him with Frank Antetomaso, who's kind of been all over the field. So it's Frank and Joey here as the attackers on the Bears, for the Bears, trying to push into these guns for energy.
Put a lot of pressure on that D-side can, Maddie, for NRG. He's having a hard time staying alive in there. Guns in the air, not able to shoot his gun, just sitting there. Oh, it looks like he's got a squeegee in his hand. Maybe he's breaking some paint. Oh, NRG loses their first player in the snake corner, Maddie. 4-on-4 now. Slight switch of momentum there to the Bears.
Well, that's a huge kill, right? I mean, because NRG needs everybody out that they possibly can get, and if you're going to play defense, you got to stay alive. You got to make your shots, and dying out of that back bunker, which be a bit of a fortress, that gives Frank a lot of breathing room, and gives Robbie a lot of breathing room. Sorry, Joey, just the ability to maneuver around a little bit more in this spot. They don't have to worry about that sideline angle anymore. And now we're getting a look here at Energy Elite, trying to take a page out of the Hurricanes book from what we just saw. Tucked into their spots, not trying to give anything, but they're tucked in the pocket. They have the body up there, and sure enough, they lose that body from the can. So when you allow the team to get out wide on you, it just gets really tight the way those angles work. As Altimore has outside contained, Antetomaso inside, looking like he wants to go. Yeah, he's going to go across that 50-yard line. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in this match.
4-on-3, Maddie. Energy with the player in the temple, back center, and the lay-down wedge in the center of the field. Brooklyn Bears with Dorito Can.
Another death coming out on the backfield for Energy Elite.
So Energy down to just 2. Travis is about to get run down. Oh, they saved Travis. No, they don't. So the 2 Energy players are lined up back center and the center wing, so they cannot really protect each other. As soon as the Bears find out exactly where they are, they're going to release and get them. Bear guy's taking a little bit too long to figure this out.
Here comes Frank. Frank's going to drop the hammer, and then they're going to run through to get a little 2-pack. Make sure it's a clean move, and no penalties assessed. Robbie Altimore going to run in.
Altimore had a good point there.
Yeah, Altimore played really well. Joey Altimore and
Frank and
then
Tomaso also.
Frank and Tomaso. I mean, they were really ones that bursted open. GJ Sakaguchi was also alive in there, and I mean, they still had what, three bodies left alive. I think Frank did need to trade at the end.
Referees are talking about something out there. Hopefully it's not a penalty. Gooch is telling him to stay on the field just to make sure that if somebody gets pulled, they got bodies.
Good to see GJ getting some spins, and he's been earning them. He had that big one-on-one win. He's closed out some points. So I like that Magic Mike's and the coaching staff over at the Brooklyn Bears is riding the hot hand. I mean, they got a decent.
Got it, right?
They got a not the bulkiest of rosters, but, you know, for a player like GJ, I feel the best player ever to come out of Hawaii. When he first burst into the league, I was like, okay, this dude's got some skills. So it's good that they're giving him an opportunity. He's making the most of it.
For sure.
There's Frank on your screen. And the rest of the boys here from the Brooklyn Bears just tied it up 1-1. We will have 2 minutes in between points with the really low-scoring match that we saw between the Hurricanes and Infamous as the Hurricanes punched their ticket to the quarterfinals. Going to be playing New York Extreme. It's also going to be X Factor and Dynasty and Heat and Damage coming up next. Already in the quarterfinals, and we will be awarding a golden barrel from Carbon Paintball to the MVP. Also $1,000 at stake for the best move of Sunday, courtesy of the Mary Catherine and Pate Smith family.
Very cool that they do that. Very, very cool.
And we haven't really seen I mean, we were only a couple points in, but nothing dramatic
Listen,
yet.
it's gonna be hard for you to figure out this Golden Barrel thing if the score of a game is 1-0 and literally nobody did anything other than dink guys out of their bunkers. I can't wait to just sit there and watch your little head spin like, ah! But wait, if you think about
I don't know, man. I mean, the way he was gunfighting out of that spot with that one kill.
Yeah, I mean, bro, he shot that guy in the break, and that was pretty much the game.
Yeah,
so you got to give it to him.
Yeah, I mean,
that'd be funny if a 2/3 ended up winning it from sitting in the back and shooting a guy in the break.
Because it's 1-0 and he shoots 2 bodies on the break.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. So about 15 seconds before we jump into point number 3, tied up 1-1.
Man, fast-paced game. These games, back and forth. The Bears.
Split screen breakout here as the Bears pushing from the red side. NRG Elite from the blue side.
Very similar breakout for both teams, Matty.
Looks like Scotty Graham going to get a spin here. He played really well for him in day 1. He's going to go into where Jared Sester was playing. And he's going to be looking cross field to that D side. Good old 5-on-5 break here from both of these squads. A little bit better field position for the Bears as they have Altimore at the insert bunker on the snake side. Joey back into his spot. Both teams pretty heavy in the gunfights right now. Lots of pressure being put on their opponents.
Yeah, both teams trying to get that crucial first kill, which will give that team an advantage, both technically, but also like as you're playing. We were talking about earlier. If you hear one of your guys died early, or if you hear that you shot somebody earlier, the momentum is completely different. How much time's left, Matty?
5 minutes and 42 seconds.
Plenty of time.
Joey Altimore dives into snake 1, so he's right beside Scotty Graham. Scotty Graham's looking towards that D side and pumping paint into that gap like there's someone into that snake 1 position. And then here comes Travis. Come through. Travis gets 1, got it. He gets 2. And oh man, Travis is on fire.
He's carrying those guys.
I'll tell you, hey, if Energy Elite goes deep somehow, I mean the way Travis is playing these first couple points.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe in the conversation for Golden Barrel.
For sure.
We're real early, but you never know. Frank Antetomaso is going to get into Snake 1 after the chaos, so he's the first to go.
4-on-3 advantage here for Energy after that move by Travis.
So crucial in professional, just in paintball in general, to be the proactive player, the proactive team to get the good solid read and then react and try to move it in the key spot. So Frank probing right now as he gets inside. He's at the brick. Look, it's outside first, now inside. Looking behind over the shoulders here for Energy Elite from the blue side of the field. Kind of tucked into their spots. So they're going to let Frank take over the aggression and see what he can do from this 50-yard lane. Doesn't have much help, though. He's now going to get a little bit more help as Bears filtering a body to the tower. It's the kind of key gunfighting spot from the support players, those second attackers on this snake side. And then they also have that can and maybe back center.
No, I believe it's.
Oh no, they got taken. Yeah, it's 3 on. Yeah, 2 bodies came off from that move from Travis. Oh, and
2-on-4, Matty.
That's a tough death from the Bears out of that tower.
Good communication from both teams.
Yeah, so now down to just 3 players out there for.
Yeah, Bears might want to concede this point. Bears might want to concede this point. They will go down a point. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because that'll give them enough time to come back, win a point, tie it up, and get back in the match.
Yeah.
Energy's got to feel really good about that. A lot of pressure now on the Bears to go in, quickly put together a game plan and come out and be able to win a fast point in this field. Not going to be easy. But that's why it's so cool.
And I didn't get a look at the time, but there still is, yeah, so close to 4 minutes left to go as we are in the pits here. This is what you want to see when we look in the pits with the best teams in the world. They're not just staring off into the distance or talking about where they're going to eat that night. I'm sure there's a little bit at that some point, but right after the point, it's always, what were you seeing out there? Talking about every single variable intricately as you can within the context of 2 minutes.
What could we have done better? That's the question. And the answers are varied.
Yeah, well, I mean, this field is, now not a mystery anymore. Aggression can work, but you really have to be careful once you get up to the 50s if the team has decided to go hardcore defense as you push in the guns. You can't just go one at a time through the lanes. You have to be crafty, go in attack in bunches, and commit. Now, And then paintball principle, if you're going to play defense, you got to make your shots. And yeah, I mean, but it's just the intention of the teams, right? If both teams decide to go forward, then the point's going to be a little bit faster. But if one team decides they want to play defense, and Energy Elite probably going to go back to that right now, maybe take a little bit of ground, and then just edges of goggles and tips of barrels is all the Bears are going to see for a little bit here, try to burn off. Again, just a little bit under 4 minutes to go.
Get a little audio from the field there. The players walking out, figuring out what their zones are on the break. Talk about their adjustments. Here we go. Breakout from Energy there after a little bit of the audio from their pit. Bears first team into the snake. Travis goes back to that defensive position in the center bunker. He's looking snake side, just kind of protecting himself. Energy definitely understands that they're up by points here, and all they need to do is stay alive until the clock runs out to get themselves into the next round of competition. The Bears also understand that they're down on points and they have to attack into this defensive position. Maybe very interesting, and it's going to have to be very technical for teams to figure out how to start pushing through these zones, especially in a small amount of time with big numbers. If there's still 5 guys alive on the team you're pushing into and they're in the right positions, you've got to make it's going to have to be some incredible paintball. The shots are going to have to be incredible.
Bears stacking up though with some attackers in the correct position. Snake 1 and inside. And it looks like they're going to go again with Joey Altamore, and Sester. And they're keeping close right behind him, and Scotty Graham. So going offensive lineup here. And body coming in, or a referee coming in, check out one of the players here for Energy.
Cannot afford to get a penalty.
Ooh, the way he looked at it for a second, I thought.
Energy is notorious for getting penalties at the worst times and just kind of screwing themselves.
So a triple stack of bodies here on the Snake side to try to help the Bears move forward with just 2:26 to go.
Honestly, though, I think they have to get on Energy side of the field before they're going to have any shots. And they're kind of sitting back and playing defense when obviously Energy loses their first player from that can on the D side, man. Tough can. That's the most vulnerable position in that zone that they're playing.
And then it helps them launch on the D side here on the Snake side. Scotty Graham going to get up. So, I mean, they pretty much have all 5 bodies very close to either the 40 or the 50-yard line.
4 on 4, Matty, as Bears lose their first player.
Yeah, Robbie Altamore coming off. Or sorry, Joey Altamore coming off.
Bears now with Dorito 4, Snake 50. Good attack positions. But you have to get all the way there, and then you still haven't got through the biggest zones on the field yet. They've got 3 players on the 50, and now they got to try to cross from their side of the field into Energy side of the field, and it's not going to be easy. And the longer they take to do it, the less chance they have of winning this game.
Well, Frank and Jared here at the 50-yard line trying to figure it out. They got very little time to work with. Do get a kill, though.
3 on 4, Matt.
Yeah,
3 on 4.
They got the opportunity. They got a body
3 on
advantage.
2, Matt. 3 on 2.
It's getting broken open from the D side. The D side is getting it done right now for the Bears. So there's GJ Sakaguchi. I can't see the other players here for the Brooklyn Bears, but looking like they could tie it up. They still got a little bit of work to do. 2 more bodies. The Snake needs to get it now. Both for a second, yeah.
Both Energy guys are looking D side.
Yeah, they're totally focused on the D side. There's no guns on the Snake side right now.
And there's 2 players, so either one of them could release.
Jared needs to just drop the hammer on Travis. Yeah. Run the other out, not that inside route. Run the outside route.
4 on 2.
And he's going right into Travis's gun.
Yeah.
And Jared's got to be very careful. Well, he ends up getting a shot in on him, so the close could happen here. Still 43 seconds left to go. Just 1
4 on 1 kill. This would be really impressive if he could hold the 3 of them off.
30 seconds.
This would be a golden barrel.
I don't think it's going to happen.
They think there's somebody in back center still, Matty.
And then they finally pinch him out. So
there was 4 on 1. What are you guys doing? There's 4 of you. There's 1 of them. Run down the field and smash him.
Yeah, Frank could have just dropped the hammer.
Jesus.
There's nothing stopping Frank from going in and just obliterating that guy's head. But maybe some miscommunication. Maybe they thought that there was an extra body out there.
No, I don't think so. I couldn't be clearer, Matt.
Well, Frank likes to go.
I know.
Frank's not the timid guy. So
as I was watching that, I had kind of lost track, and I was like, well, it's a 2-on-1 or whatever. I get it. They got to play tight, and then 4 dudes would get up and walk off. I'm like, gee, what game were you guys watching?
I mean, Frank, former aftermath player, former college football player, loves to smash people. So I just
well, that's the old Frank. The new Frank likes to watch people play paintball. Apparently,
they got it done though. It took them a little bit of time, and it took almost all of regulation time for them to put that second point on the board. But regardless, it doesn't have to look pretty. It just needs to get done. And actually, it looked pretty because that D side was getting blown open pretty solidly. Couldn't see who it was over the GJ, but
did a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah. So Energy Elite pleading patience right now. Yeah, you do need to be patient on this field.
You do. You have to wait for the right moment. It's hard to make it happen.
We see this all the time, and obviously it's easy for us to see these angles from up here, but because of the way this field is and because it is a slower playing field, I'm seeing typically on the pro leagues, we don't see a ton of guys, second and making third guesses on a move. Once they feel it, the best guys are making that move. I'm seeing a lot of guys second guess some moves out here because they just sometimes don't know exactly where the bodies are. So they may know there's someone in the zone.
Yeah, and
they don't know where exactly is and which way he's exactly shooting.
A good indication of that is when you see those guys repositioning. They're like, oh, this guy's here. I got to go here to get this shot. They go there. They're like, oh, I don't have the shot from there. They go back to the other spot to try to engage.
Yeah, so my point with that is that you see when the players are Energy pleading patience, and I agree, this is a patient field, but you also have to be willing to trust your instincts and make that move because they are there. We keep seeing a lot of times when the chaos sets in, the guns are shifting back and forth, that there'll be a beat where you have a good 10 seconds or 5 to 10 seconds where just like that, both guys are shooting D side. Snake side could easily move, at least taking some more ground. And yeah, there's a big gap between, but they even weren't all the way up the Snake. Anyway, regardless, we're jumping in here, 14 seconds. Probably going to see an overtime point.
Snake on the break, first elimination. Energy player taking the walk. So 5-on-4 advantage here for the Bears.
Yeah, it's not going to matter. It's only
I was going to say, I don't know if they'll have enough time to take advantage of it. The Energy player did make it into the Snake mat. He overslid it a little bit and got caught on the outside, so they might go there again because he could have made it in there.
Well, that's my question to you now. 2 minutes between we get into this overtime point, and then after that, we are going to have Heat and Damage and Dynasty X Factor.
It's going to get hot.
But I think, my opinion is I think the Bears will probably play this overtime point more aggressive than Energy, just because that seems to be the style that both these teams are bringing out right now.
You think they will or you think they should?
I think they will. Do you think that Energy Elite's going to come out a little bit more aggressive in this one? Or I just think that they're going to go a little bit more careful, and I think the Bears might risk it a little bit more. But we also probably could see that, that standard breakout we're starting to see right now when both teams don't want to risk anything, kind of more pocketed up, maybe risk one body out.
4 in the back and one guy in the center thing, right?
Yeah. Like the risk will be the body going to the wedge, which isn't much of a risk because nobody seems to really be able to shoot that guy. Everyone knows the body's going to that wedge, and no one can really consistently find a shot in on it.
And the problem right now with Energy, I feel like, is all the offense and defense is coming from one player in one position.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, it gets easier for the other team to be like, hey, this dude in this spot is like shooting a couple guys a game, communicating, playing well defensively, and they decide to shut down that position, and they swing a lot of guns on that. So I'd be trying to shoot Travis on the break, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets tough now because Travis is like, hey, man, I've had a couple good games up here. Maybe I should hold back this time.
Well, but the question is, okay, look, I mean, every single team seems to have a body that's consistently getting into that wedge. So everyone knows that a guy's going to that spot.
Yeah.
No team seems to be able to consistently put a ball on that player.
Well, and because you're shooting for that, but you're also shooting for the outside guys, right? Because you can't give out the outside guys. But now, if you have a scenario like this where the outside guys are getting out there, but they're just hiding, not doing a lot, I'm putting 3 guns on him. Like, I got a gun from each tape and a guy in the middle trying
Rich,
to get him.
I figured it out. Mortar strikes and paint grenades.
Yes, thank you. I've been saying that for years. and you get to go out the night before and set up your booby traps and stuff.
That's right. Forgot about the booby traps.
Yeah, come on, bro. You want to make paintball exciting.
Yeah.
Some flares out there. Whoa!
Yeah, we just can't actually use those here. And I'm actually not a fan when we go play some rec ball, go play big games. Kind of hate paint grenades. It's just like a little bit of an argument starter.
I think they're great just because you spend so much money on it and no one's actually ever been killed by a paint grenade. They're completely harmless. Actually, that's not true. I saw Bob Long take some shrapnel in the leg at one time and get pulled off the field. It was pretty sad. But the guy who threw that grenade was so proud of himself. So proud. Bears breaking out from the red.
Tied up 2-2.
Energy breaking out from the blue.
Going to be heading into overtime, wild card round. Hurricanes already in the quarterfinals. Great job by the Hurricanes here in this first pro event, the 2023 Sunshine State Major. They're going to play New York Extreme. Can't wait to see the Dynasty X Factor rematch.
That's exciting. That's going to be exciting, man.
Because it's tough to beat a team twice in a row. But if X Factor, they handled Dynasty pretty easily.
And they were super confident before and after that match, which I love. Bears losing their first attack on the G side, Matt, going out to the can. But look, running referee, they might be losing another. Nope.
Running referee, yeah, for GJ in that back corner bunker here for the Bears. So both teams do send a body into the wedge we were just talking about. And yeah, sure enough, a little bit more aggressive here for the Brooklyn Bears. They send Altimore into the insert bunker here, snake side. They get Frank behind him. Frank going to do a little tactical retreat. I think he might actually try to get back over to that D side because of that body that
referee
dropped.
Coming in, Matty.
Yeah, referee coming in to check him out. Looks like Frank is good to go.
Energy's all the way up to Dorito format. I don't know that they know that he's there yet.
That could be the key move.
If he can sneak and get a kill on this Dorito side, if Frank or somebody tries to get outside there, that'll be huge. 4-on-5 advantage here for Energy. Guy up in the Dorito 4, up in the center wing as well. Sakaguchi now gets, Sakaguchi eliminated as he goes from the corner into Dorito 1. Big advantage here for Energy.
Yeah, just...
Energy lose their first attacker Dorito side, Matt.
Yeah, huge kill right now for the Bears. It was a tough death for GJ out of that spot, but then Frank's going to fill it. So it's a 3-on-4 situation here in favor of Energy Elite as Frank Antetomaso all the way back into the Doritos now. So if he can make his way up that side, that would be a huge swing move. They get Altimore into Snake 1, and then Jared... He's at the wedge, and he's not feeling much pressure because he's just wrapped around and just really focusing, whereas Travis is totally just completely dedicating his gun, and I think rightfully so, on Altimore. Altimore's going to crawl up inside. So a little 2-on-1 situation, at least for the forward bunkers. But Energy Elite also has a body with Bowen in the insert bunker here, snake side. He's shooting crossfield, trying to keep Frank honest over there. It's getting interesting here as we have 3 minutes left to go. If we do not have a winner, we will be heading into one-on-ones. We already saw one-on-ones in the prelims with Graham Arnold playing the hero for Uprising. Uprising not able to make it.
I like the fact that the Bears are down by a body, but they understand the way to win on this field is to attack and not sit back. So although they're down a body, Frank's gotten out to the Dorito side. They're up 2 players on the 50 side. Energy's sitting back a little bit more, a little more defensively.
Jared's popping the top for a while.
Yeah, that always scares. It's a trap, right? Like, it feels so good to come over the top and be able to see the whole field. But, Energy, Bowen taking the walk. Critical bad death there from Bowen. Now 3-on-3, Matt. Energy now in a not as strong as position for sure.
Yeah, huge kill for the Brooklyn Bears. It was not looking good for the Bears for a second, but Frank making the big move across was crucial. And then Altimore and Sesser staying alive over here and making some moves of their own to present a threat. So now Energy Elite playing on their heels and just focusing on rolling those guns.
Yeah, and I don't feel like Energy understands how to play the field as much because now that Travis is dead, the point's pretty much over because he was there, like I said, all their offense and defense.
And unfortunately for Energy Elite, the game. Now, it is a 2-on-1, so we could see some heroic action out right here. I think that is Weaver that's still alive. Or Buffton. Is that Buffton or Weaver?
I can't see. If it's Buffton, he actually does a pretty good job of pulling out some points.
So does Weaver.
Yeah, so they might have a shot here.
Ref is coming in. Check him out. Looks like he's good to go.
Yeah, Bears are not playing good 2-on-1 paintball here. They're playing 1-on-1. They've got to get both guys just pumping that guy.
Yeah, I mean, Frank's pretty far away, but he just did move up into D4.
Yeah, but they're letting him stand over the top of the bunker. They're just not putting enough pressure on him. Now he's kind of down. But yeah, they should not be. You should not be able to do that in a 2-on-1 in that position if the two guys are playing it right.
Well, how much time to work with?
I was just going to say,
maybe a minute.
Maybe
and they get the kill on him. So winning a low body situation here. The Brooklyn Bears, unaware of the count. They don't
playing
know
smart. They're just playing smart. I get it.
Smart. They got time to work with.
Yep. Really good play there for the Brooklyn Bears. Great match from Energy as well.
And then Joey Altimore is going to run in and hit the buzzer. Actually, he's going to ask for Frank to come in and make sure.
Smart.
He's
like, Frank, come on, clock in, bro.
Yeah. He's like, Frank, we've killed everyone. I would like a check. And
Frank's like, you know how tight my hamstrings are? I can't walk all the way over there, bro.
Great job by Frank Antetomaso.
All the way from this corner all the way over there.
Corner to corner and
great
then up
read
the
react.
field.
Yep, great read react. Good job, Frank.
He got in the most amount of steps of any player out of the 10 that just plays.
Again, he's paid by the step, so.
Good job, Frank. And good job, Joey Altamore. He's been holding it down here on the snake side.
Yeah, and Bears were down, right? It was a 3-on-5, right? They had every opportunity to lose that game.
And a come from behind victory.
That's right.
Because at one point, Energy Elite had a 1-point advantage. So that is going to do it here. Brooklyn Bears moving on. They're going to be playing Edmonton Impact coming up next or not coming up next, but they're moving into the quarterfinals to play Impact. Coming up next, it's going to be Houston Heat and Damage and X Factor and San Diego Dynasty. The Hurricanes also won a really low-scoring game against Infamous, so knocking out one of the legends in our sport. Infamous still with some work to do, but the Hurricanes look pretty dialed, playing this field really well. Magic Mike there, the owner of the Brooklyn Bears, got to be pretty stoked. So battle going down here on Sentinel Court. Most important day of the tournament, first event of the year. 2023 NXL Sunshine State Major. There's a schedule on your screen. I'm Matty Marshall here on Go Sports, and I'll see you in just a few.
Yes. I think I like it.
Diesel! D-boy and AFD. White. Remember, control. Billy, I'm with you. Go, Billy. Let's go, baby. Team. Way to go, boys. Dynasty, let's go, boys.
What's up, I'm Matty Marshall. We're here at the very first NXL event of the year, the Sunshine State Major, and it's Thursday. This is training day, it's practice day. It's time to sharpen those swords and get ready for the battle that's about to go down. So many crazy stories with the 20 pro teams and then all the semi-pro teams, all down in the divisions of WNXL. It's going to be absolute madness here in 2023. So we're here for this practice session. We're gonna go and check out, talk to some of these players and see what's going on in their minds as they get ready for this battle. Let's go check it out.
You got to set the tone. You know, in the first event, you got to set the tone for the year. Make sure that you're building with your teammates and making a great debut on the new season.
We're really hungry, and I think the entire team feels really good. I think that's key when you're playing pro paintball, to have some fun when you're playing, and definitely Impact's going to be a force to reckon with.
Hard work and discipline, and that's what we're just working on. This is what they've been beating in our head the whole last few weeks is discipline, discipline, discipline. So we're just working on that the whole time.
First event's always fun, but it feels like there was no off season. You know, we were just in Florida, and now we're back.
Right now, it's a new season. Everyone's 0-0. So when I got that jersey with my name on it, it was pretty cool.
Coming to this year, everyone is hungry. Half of them are all best friends. We all grew up in the same neighborhood. They've been playing with each other for 10 years, same fields.
The Hurricanes are as prepared as we can be. Put in the work. We're going to see if it pays off. All we got to do is execute now because this first event really sets the pace for the rest of the season.
Just finished with the practice session for the professional teams as we're heading into day one of this first event of the year.
This side is going to be the more chaotic area, but it all depends on how the teams want to play.
There's a huge brick in the middle of the field. We're going to see the battle ensue all throughout these bunkers in the middle. It's going to be madness. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be a lot of fun.
The biggest thing is seeing what that other team does off the break and how much pressure you're going to apply with that breakout.
So all the preparation, all the training, and all the off-season moves, all that is in the past. The battle is going to be going down here on center court for the first event of the NXL season, and it's going down all weekend long. Can't wait to see it.
Diesel!
Yeah. Gotta aim for the top like. Hold up. Yeah. I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles. That I'm in my element, it's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. Putting on for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babble if they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Flow is like water. I'm forced through the fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding. You do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center. Word to Spike Lee. And God came in the nick of time. They think I'm crazy, but I might be. Let's run it up, run it up, run it up. We beating the odds just to sum it up. You know it's a rap, never waistlines, and I'm cutting the weight like a tummy tuck. That mean I'm about to give it out right now. You see what's coming down the line, I never pipe down. I give 100% of me, trying to stun on my enemies. In my element, it's crazy as that might sound. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know. Rumor has it. I'm a savage. Drop the classic. Thinking back. Drop the classic. To establish that the magic. It's automatic. Got a mask. Who was at it? Living legend. Lethal weapon. Mastermind. Never tired. Tell them all. Big dreams, I got big dreams since like baby. I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings used to be so stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-whites. Play with the fire, you get burned. All of my struggles became lessons well learned. I got desires that keep me grounded, that's for sure. Cause one day we gon' make it out this earth. Where's your worth? I'm sick of your talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broken. If I am in second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let them know. I'm the headline, the deadline. Big time. I'm ahead time, the rare kind. Big time. I'm a living legend, lethal weapon, mastermind. Big time. The king is back like prodigal. I've been gone. I gave him time, it's been too long. Was silent calm, but now the storm. I'm not the one you can't ignore. I never politic, if I want it, I'ma get mine. Never fake the funk, can't perform for your empire. Snatch him out the throne, make them all fall in line. I let the clock tick, count down, cause I'm sick of your talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broken. If I am in second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let them know. I'm the headline, the deadline. Big time. I'm ahead time, the rare kind. Big time. I'm a living legend, lethal weapon, mastermind. Big time.
Out of the ashes, a phoenix arises. Faith of a mustard seed can move any mountains. The people are watching, so I cannot stop it. Been down for too long, now I gotta rock it. Had to get it out the mud, you know how it goes. Now we sitting at the top, had to bring the bros. Never thought I'd be the one who would play the role. Now look at where we at, man, who would've known? Temperature rising, I feel the pressure is on me. Luckily, I've been out here building an army.
Welcome back. We are in the quarterfinals where things are going to start to get decided. It's going to be a battle of some titans out here right now. And it's going to be a rematch to start it off. It's going to be San Antonio X Factor taking on San Diego Dynasty. Heat and damage waiting in the wings. We're jumping into point number one here at the very first battle of the year. NXL Sunshine State Major. Dynasty going to be on the blue side and X Factor on the red side. So these teams played each other in the prelims, and it was mostly all X Factor. X Factor has just played this field masterfully. They went undefeated through the prelims. They never really even, Rich, had any problems.
Yeah, they were on cruise control the whole time, Eddie, right?
Yeah, they really were. So that's always a little scary, though, because if you don't have any problems, there's no real problem to fix.
Yeah.
And you think everything's
There's
going
no
on.
solutions.
And then when you hit a hitch, and then you're like, okay, we got to figure this out in a minute and 30 seconds here. So, but also it's really tough to beat a team twice, especially if it's San Diego Dynasty. And these two teams have battled against each other for years. And Archie Montemayor is pushing up against his former squad. I mean, Archie Montemayor helped put X Factor on the map for over a decade. Decides to come over to Dynasty last year, and was a huge. He was an MVP. He was the best player for the year. And he's in a really good spot, but he's looking at two bodies in front of him. TJ Danner did come off for X Factor, so it's a 5-on-4 situation.
Yep. And the point played pretty fast up to this point, in the sense that they had a good breakout, a couple good bumps. So now we have both teams, the guy in snake, guy at the middle. But this is where it really starts slowing down once they get to these positions, Matt. Billy Bernaccia and Archie are both looking inside from the snake one. They're cutting down the same gaps in the center field, the gaps on either side of that big square. They've also got the gap on the Dorito side, so those two guys are zoning up the side of the field.
There goes Ryan Greenspan. He's going to get up into that wedge structure in the middle of the field.
It's a great position for him to play. Very versatile from that position. You can look both sides.
Colt Roberts and Billy Bernaccia into the snake structure with Billy. So the battle going down here, snake side. I mean, this has kind of been where the focal points have been. You can steal points on the D side. The middle's important too, but a lot of things getting decided by who lives or dies in this engagement right now. And so either Billy or Colt gonna hope things go their way, or maybe Dynasty can sneak in a gunfight win somewhere, but currently it's 5-on-4 in favor of Dynasty.
Yeah, this is a very, very technical match here. It's not going to come down to who makes a big move, or it's going to come down to who makes the small mistake and it just gets caught.
Well, I just talked to Sam Silberg right before we jumped on air from Infamous, and he's like, Matty, can you please explain to me what just happened? I'm like, it's pretty simple. You guys played 2 points. You guys got drugged into a long game instead of a fast game, which you were kind of used to playing a little bit. You went down by 1, and then you guys took good ground in the center, and then you lost 2 back players. That's it. Game over. That's the story.
There you go.
He's like, what should we have done better? I'm like, better survivability for the guys behind you and Jamrose. So... or patient, but regardless, but the point is that sometimes on a layout like this, Rich, on a Sunday, it's just going to come down to 1 or 2 gunfights. That's the difference.
We just had a talk with Eric Crandall, the manager from Dynasty. Ryan getting eliminated from Dynasty, 4-on-4 now.
Yeah, but they shoot Parrish, so Parrish tries to dive into D4.
3-on-4 advantage for Dynasty. But Eric was saying, we feel so strongly that some events come down to 1 paintball, right? The difference between us doing our homework and having the best paint we have, so it breaks on the guy instead of bounces, is the difference between us winning 1 point, which is winning 1 match, which is winning the event. Archie releasing now, going to the center 50, going through.
Goes through it. It goes through kind of at a pretty good time. He goes right into Billy's gun, but he does take out Colt. Blake Yarber fills in after that, but here comes Blake. So Blake's going to try to stop Billy. Billy gets into the 50-yard line here in the snake, a reposition out wide
3-on-2
for X Factor. But yeah, so 2 bodies out there on the field for X Factor, but they have good position with Billy Bernaccia out wide snake side. Dynasty with Blake as the farthest body up the field. They also have the tower, and they have Marcelo Margot over behind Blake.
Yeah.
So 1 extra body. Yeah, no team with the lead to protect right now,
No,
Rich.
Dynasty's in a very, very good position, though, in those defensive positions. It's going to be very hard for them to push through. And Billy is in a great position in that snake, but he's vulnerable because the next closest player is all the way across the field. I'm not sure if Dynasty knows it's 2 against 3. They have the 3. They might still think it's 3-on-3. See if we can hear what they're talking about. Nope, just running their guns. Trying to figure out where the bodies are. It's kind of the ball for X Factor right now is Billy Bernaccia. He might want to sneak back and reposition because he's in such a vulnerable position in that snake. If they find that he's in there and there's no one behind him, there's a good chance that Blake Yarber will release, go forward, bunker him out, leaving his 2 guys in a 2-on-1, which is something they can handle pretty easily.
Yeah, we can see our eye on the sky here. Drone shot with 3 bodies for Dynasty. Blake had just a little tactical retreat. Billy Bernaccia, he's somewhere. There he is. He's in the shadow there on the left-hand side of your screen at the 50-yard line, snake side. There goes Chris Shear. Chris Shear going to move up and get into D2 to try to spread the field. Billy with the tactical retreat to get to back to snake 1. Dynasty picked it up. Somebody either saw the shadow or heard or saw the movement.
Yeah, I think it's Marcelo. He's just standing up in that Aztec, so he was able to see a little glimpse of his pack as it went back, I believe. Yeah, X Factor's in a tough spot here. I wouldn't be shocked if Ryan conceded this point here as the time gets down lower and lower. If it gets If he gets within a margin where he thinks that they can't go out and score 2 points, he might just concede this. Because Dynasty can literally just play this for 14 minutes and 30 seconds and then go drop the hammer on Billy because there's nobody in a spot to protect him.
Yeah, and tense moments right here. X Factor hasn't shot their guns in a while because they want to be, not necessarily telegraph their moves. They know where Billy is, and they've got to know where that back corner bunker is too. Billy, I think he just head checked the clock real quick.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to figure out where the guys are in front of him as well. He might want to reposition again.
Well, the thing, though, is that because we are in point number 1, no one has a lead. So, yeah, X Factor is down to 2 bodies, but they don't have to push forward, right?
They don't have to push forward, but they do understand that they're at a disadvantage right now because they're down a body. So it kind of puts the emphasis on them to try to win the point, because the longer the point goes, the more chances there are to lose that point and not have any time to recover the next couple points.
So it's is that Meter? Yeah, I think Meter Rainey. It's in the shadow over there. Moves up.
Looks like Rainey.
Yeah, I think it is. So Rainey stands it. No, that's Meter.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Meter moving into the D4 position, so much better position. He's actually going to pass.
Great
He's
move.
going to push the issue.
Here it comes.
Blake is going to come through.
Oh, but he didn't know where he was.
Bunker, but I think they're going to trade out. No, actually, Billy not able to put a ball on Blake, and then that is going to do it, as I think Shear might have traded out with Meter. So Dynasty going to take this first point. It got interesting there towards the end because the reposition there from Billy and then Blake deciding to drop the hammer. Neither one of them knew where their opponent was.
I think
it
Billy
was that read and react moment.
should have repositioned earlier so that when Blake went through to get him where he thought he was in the snake, that Blake would have had Meter would have had a chance to catch him on the cross.
Oh. Now we're going to see Houston Heat and Tampa Bay Damage.
Two of the best teams playing this field and playing it 2 different styles, so I'm very excited to see which one of these styles prevails.
So Tampa Bay Damage was playing, methodical Tampa Bay paintball, undefeated on day 1, but they did drop a game to New York Extreme on day 2. They beat.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they beat Aftermath Positive.
Huh.
They beat Aftermath after that to redeem themselves, go 3-1 to make sure that they could just go right into the quarterfinals and not have to play a wild card round. But they did have a chink in their armor, whereas Houston Heat was. Houston Heat went undefeated. They beat Diesel, and then they beat Revo. And they're going to go aggressive. They send Chad George the Snake one off the break here in the red side of the field, and they send Ronnie Dizon into the wedge. Here comes San Monville.
Great pickup for both teams. Very similar positions for both teams. 5-on-5. Houston Heat with 3 of their players on the 40-yard line, 2 in the back. Tampa Bay Damage with 3 in the back, 2 on the 40-yard line. So a little more defensive posture for Tampa Bay Damage, a little more offensive posture for Houston Heat. I like the positions that Chad George, Sam Monville, and Ronnie Dizon are in. They're all lined up right across the field from each other. They can see which zones each other are shooting. They can communicate with each other really, really well. And then they've got 2 players in Tyler Harmon and is it Fedorov in the can, supporting them. Really good breakout, really good position here from Houston Heat. This is where I think a lot of teams are going to play the majority of the points from today, these 5 spots, or should.
Yeah, based on what we've seen, I would have to agree. And yeah, Heat just pushing the issue a little bit more than Tampa Bay.
Well, I just feel like I feel like they're playing the field a little bit better. Like these are, in my opinion, you want to have 3 guys closer to the 50 than you want to have 3 guys in the back line.
Yeah, he did really well. They just kind of methodically and aggressively made their way through every single team that they played. They had a couple close matches and a few points scored on them. I mean, they didn't let the Ironman score a point. They only let the Hurricanes score 1. Revel only scored 1 on Heat, and then Diesel put up 2. So, I mean, that's a pretty nasty 4 wins right there.
It's tight, very tight. Up on his feet there in the middle is Sam Monville, looking to get a shot straight up the field or maybe transition forward into the Snake 50.
Yeah, and when you see a record like that coming through the prelims, when you only have 1 weekend on the layout, it's just the leadership on that team, the veteran presence. Tom Martinez is the coach. And I talked to them out there when they were walking the fields, and they felt like they had the field figured out, and it looked like that. So we'll see if they can keep it going here, or can Damage rise to the occasion. Damage such a great year last year as they won the 2nd event, took 2nd at the World Cup. He hasn't put a win on the board since the 2nd event in 2021. So they're due.
Oh, they're due, all right.
But Heat's the most consistent team that hasn't won an event in almost 2 years. Because they're always in the hunt on Sunday. Just had a few bad breaks here or there.
Always entertaining to watch too, right?
Yeah.
They always have that kind of aggressive, fast-paced, whether they're up or down on points, they're usually looking to kind of stunt out there a little bit, and that's always entertaining. Tyler Harmon in a support role here in the tower on the snake side, supporting Chad George in front of him, who's looking the Dorito side, and Sam Monville, who's slightly inside of him, looking on the snake side.
And we are going to see a lot of low-scoring games today, Rich.
Excuse me, Mr. Negativity.
It's not negative. It's just calling it like I see it.
It's just accurate. It's just science, bro.
It's the truth. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe they'll pop off a 6-5 game at some point today. But
we talked about it earlier, and I think it's fair that some of the fields are slower and more methodical. So the teams that are better at that kind of, like the Hurricanes right now, I think have a really good chance of doing well in this tournament. Obviously, they're a great team and a great program, but this field suits them very, very well, where a team like Houston Heat, it doesn't suit quite as well, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's good that there's that difference in the field layouts, where some are fast and some are slow. Obviously, as fans, we like to watch people go down and crush each other, right? That's entertaining for us. But this is just a more nuanced and more subtle version of that, This is more of the chess than the checkers. Ronnie Dizon communicating really, really well out there from that wing on. Chad George getting caught from across the field. That was a huge kill.
Massive kill.
Came from somewhere on the Dorito side, I think, Matt.
Yeah, massive kill for damage, as they're going to have a one-body advantage. See how Heat reacts to this. They're kind of looking back and forth, like, okay, we lost Chad. Now, do we want to make a move right now? Or
they filled the corner.
Yeah, they filled the corner. They're switching their guns. And they're going to lose Sam Monville.
Wow, this game is just tilted. Damage loses a player now. 4-on-3 advantage for damage, but the advantage is definitely on damage now. They have the advantage here, and if they go win this first point, it's going to be real tough for Houston Heat to have to push into those guns. The Edwards brothers are so good at crossing it up and playing that dirty South Florida paintball. That's Agent Smith now into the 50 snake.
Well, damage turning the tables on their strategy here. They're going to go offense with the body advantage and taking ground snake side to get into the 50 brick here on your screen with Agent Smith. They've also moved up into D3 and feeling no pressure from that position. Jacob Edwards has just been rolling his gun from that spot.
Yeah, I love that when people go to those Doritos and they don't get the pressure and they take advantage of that and stand up. Tyler Harmon getting diced up over here, snake side. Only 2 Houston Heat players left alive. Ronnie Dizon, Fedorov, both on the Dorito side of the field. Fedorov in the small Dorito. Ronnie Dizon gunfighting for the wing. Tampa Bay Damage with 3 players left. 4 players left, so 4-on-1. Tampa Bay Damage winning this first point. Hometown boys looking good. And we literally talked about it on Thursday. Man, it's going to be tough if you play against Tampa Bay Damage or Impact on Sunday afternoon and they go up a point in the match against you.
Yeah, it's the style they play. Again, Tampa Bay Damage can ramp up the aggression with the best of them, but they're just so good when typically their strategy is, let's go up a point or 2, let's take some decent spots, and then force the team to push into us. And it works more often than it doesn't. But but Houston Heat, now finding a little bit of, not necessarily a struggle, but they're down by 1, and we're going to see how they react. That point actually didn't go that long, considering what we've seen out here so far.
No, for sure, yeah.
So they still have 10-something minutes to work with.
Yeah, if you're going to lose a point out here, you want to lose as quick as you can, right?
So now Dynasty with a 1-point lead. They go heavy guns up, pausing 2 bodies in the backfield, and then Marcelo gets out to the can. They risk a body wide. D side, he makes it clean, but it looks like X Factor also keeping 5 bodies alive as well. They're going to dig out on a secondary back corner bunker on the snake side, and he makes it out alive as well too. Harrison Fry, he jumps into the wedge structure, the first notch of that, kind of deciding which way he wants to put his gun, and looks like he might be crawling up into the wedge right at the 40-yard line.
X Factor with that center 50 brick looking snake side.
Yeah, I like that aggressive play here.
Yeah, I think it's Billy Bernacci. I think they switched him from that snake to take that big bite up the middle.
Ryan Brand does like to do that occasionally to keep it a little less scoutable.
Yeah, Harrison Fry now in that key position in the center of the field, Matt.
You think Dynasty knows that Billy Bernacci is at that brick?
I don't think they do.
Because if Harrison tries to come around, Harrison just probing right now with 7:20 to go, so no need to rush the issue, especially with the lead. But if he comes across to try to get to that brick, Billy's going to torch him.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't think that he would try to do that because it would put him in a vulnerable position. I think he would try to stay back because they're up that point and they want to try to force someone from X Factor to make a mistake.
But Harrison likes to push the issue sometimes.
He certainly does. If he did that in this game plan, I would think that he might get a talking to from Skinny Kevin when he got back in the pit. But, just throwing it out there. You never really know. Archie in a great spot there. Sorry, we both saw the same thing. Good defensive position. You can talk to Ryan behind him.
Yeah, he's at the insert bunker on the snake side there, bottom right-hand portion of your screen. So that's the lineup for Dynasty.
It's really scary having 2 players that are that smart and that athletic together, Archie and Ryan, in a small area, because it's like they can do so much damage.
Yeah, and they thrive when the scramble sets in. You know, when the bodies start dropping in the chaos and you have to make that read, that's why they're the legends that they are.
Dude, I just almost apologized because Harrison looked like he was up on his toes and he was going to go through that gap. I was like, well, you were right, Matt. He's going to go through that gap.
And
he heard something and settled way back
if you
down.
go through this gap, Billy's going to destroy you.
It's going to be painful.
Billy's been posted on that gap.
Look, he wants to
since
go.
He got there.
He wants to go so bad. He's getting that look. He's like, I can get there. I could definitely get it. It's not that far. It's like 2 feet.
Billy, it's so close.
He's like, I'm going to look so cool. I'm going to be right on the show tape. I'm going to be in the 50s playing for Dynasty. It's finally happening, boys. It's finally happening. I'm going to get mine.
Yeah, so Billy's been very patient, just low, and he did pop the top real quick to see if he can get a glimpse. I don't think Billy's tall enough to actually play over the top of that.
That's hurtful. That's hurtful. Yeah, Billy very, very patient there. Hasn't been coming over top. Harrison's going in and out, popping on top, trying to see if there's somebody in that position that Billy's in, but Billy's not giving him anything. Big fill to the snake there for X Factor, Jesse Stevens. That might put a little bit more pressure on Harrison. They know Billy's there now. They're shooting at his feet, backing him up off the edge, so they do know he's there. That's going to maybe save Harrison from making that move forward and getting caught in that cross.
And Harrison tucks in and immediately communicates that to Archie. But do they know that Jesse has joined Billy at the 50-yard line? So Jesse Stevens has crawled up to the other 50 brick, and he's looking towards the D side. So one more body at the 50-yard line that Dynasty needs to worry about.
Yeah.
X Factor needs the point, though. We're down to 5 minutes.
I was going to say, the problem here is X Factor's in great positions to play defensive paintball. But now getting past those spots into the next gap is very, very challenging. And I don't think it's a one-on-one operation. I think you have to get someone stacked behind you on the cross. That guy helps you gunfight through the gap, and then you got to still make a big move and hopefully get a little lucky.
Well, ideally for X Factor, it would help out Billy and Jesse is if they could get, I think that's Cody. Yeah, Cody Bayless. If they could get Cody up, and Cody's going to go. Okay, Cody must have thinking the same thing I'm thinking. He's like, okay, we got those 50s up there. I need to get the field a little bit here to spread these guns.
Those are our anchors, right? And now we start working around our anchors. Our anchors are doing their jobs. We've got to be creative now and figure out how to push down this field.
Well, they also have Minkowski in the back corner bunker now. TJ Danner's going to filter in. So some nice secondary moves here for X Factor to get up the field and get better position.
Yeah, and keeping TJ alive at the end of this point is going to be crucial.
But Dynasty gets a shot on Cody Bayless. Shoot him at a D3. Who got that shot? I think it might have been maybe Marcelo or Archie.
And they call 54, which means there's 5 of us and 4 of them. Kind of a common communication that a lot of teams use. With one little short sentence, you can tell how many players are on your team and how many players are on the opposing team. Move out of the corner there from Cody Minkowski. He's sensitive of the time and the score. He's coming out of that corner, which is kind of a defensive support position, into the tower, which is also kind of a defensive support position, but because you're on your feet, you can make some moves and some read and reacts that you can't from the corner. Yeah, they're talking about time, I think. They're calling different codes out there. Is it 3 minutes left?
3:30.
Yeah, so they're talking about time, and they're talking about where they're at in this match, and now they're going to start trying to put together this puzzle. They're going to probably take another 30 seconds or so to try to figure out who they want to try to drop the hammer on. The Dynasty is giving nothing. If you look out here, Matty, we can kind of see 2 spots where there's 3 players that we can't even see because they're just so zoned up, so tight. I can't see their hoppers. I can't see their barrels. I can see their bunkers pushed forward, and that's about it.
Dynasty with the one-body advantage with that kill on Cody Bayless. And Cody Minkowski's now going to come up to get closer to Jesse Stevens, who's actually backed up to get a little bit more of an outside look. He's back in Snake 1.
I'm going to be so impressed if X Factor can get through this cut in this amount of time.
Harrison Fry's going to actually retreat.
Great reposition.
As Jesse decides to hit the deck and crawl up to the 50.
And he's much less vulnerable there, right? It's harder for them to run him. There's more people protecting him back there. So that was a great reposition from him. Great reaction earlier, not going forward as well.
Down now to 2:26 left to go. So this could be the deciding point, because if Dynasty can find a way with this one body advantage, they have 5-on-4. If they can find a way to put another one up, that might do it, because we're running out of time. So this could be it for X Factor.
Yeah, very challenging. And you know, X Factor guys are just grinding gears right now. Their ears are steaming. They're processing as much information as they can. Like, how do I get through this? How do I put this guy in and not get shot by this guy so I can get this guy? And all those guys are trying to figure all that stuff out, not only for themselves, but for the other positions on the field. Like, okay, if I can't do it, if I can go through here and block, can this guy do it? So lots of calculations going on out there. in a very fast pace while people are shooting at you.
Yeah, and so Jesse's going to go back up to the brick with Cody behind him. Cody might be getting into the snake.
And all Dynasty has to do is not make any mistakes, right? X Factor has to pull off a miracle here, and Dynasty has to just not flinch.
Yeah, TJ Danner is also into D3. Cody's now going to go more inside. Ooh, might have gone
Cody
into a
got
ball.
caught,
He
yep.
did. Yeah, that was Chris Shear crossfield.
Yep, just sitting on that zone. Now Archie's playing sloppy because he's so confident that they've already won this match. Instead of playing discipline, now he sees somebody, pops back down, starts playing discipline paintball again. This game is over, Matty. I think it was over a few minutes ago, but
minute and 10 seconds left, and Ryan Brand's thinking about. He's right by the concession horn, and he's the quickest in the business on it. But he's going to give his 3 a chance. But they're running out of time. He basically has to hope that these guys find a way to do it. That the 3 go against the 5, and to make it happen. Because if Dynasty puts 2 on to score 2 points in 50 seconds, we just haven't even seen anything close to that.
I love that Jesse Stevens is going to try to go win this point. Unfortunately, him and Billy are going to go. I love that they're trying. It's the only thing you can do, and I respect him for it.
Be careful. Got to be careful not to get a major. So the point going to be conceded as the referee was going in to check out Harrison, but after those bodies launched, Ryan Brand didn't really have time to let the dust settle to see if Harrison was going to get a major. The referee was going to go in and check him out, but with that chaos that happened with the double dose of the attackers coming through, trying to dunk on Harrison, but just perfect zone control. And Dynasty now up by 2 with barely any time left. And yeah, Rich, I think that might have been the coffin nail.
Yeah, but good job, X Factor, in that high stress situation, not making the stupid mistake and sealing the coffin by getting a penalty, right?
Yeah.
You didn't win the point. That's frustrating. You didn't waste any more time than you had to, though. You didn't get a penalty, so at least now you can go into this next point with some slim chance, right? It might be the slimmest of chances, but it's better than nothing, man. And a lot of immature teams make that mistake. They start getting penalties in those situations.
Haven't seen too many penalties today. I mean, we haven't seen.
No, it's not like Friday morning.
Well, we haven't seen too many points today.
That's right.
10 minutes left in this one here, Tampa Bay. So now this could be a very similar situation. Houston Heat is an aggressive team. Tampa Bay, best in the business at this situation. Go up by 1.
Literally.
Go up by 1 and then just hold the line.
Yep. And you're going to see very similar positions to the positions that the Dynasty guys were in. You're going to see players doing very similar things to what the Dynasty guys were doing. Just very conservative, very smart paintball. Every time you get shot at, you hide and reposition. You switch sides. You just don't engage. You communicate. If you see guys get a lot of pressure on them, you try to help get that pressure off. No incentive to go up the field at this point. No incentive to do anything other than not make a mistake. And Houston Heat, on the other hand, they've got to play some super high-level technical paintball, and they got to get a little bit lucky. Tampa Bay Damage player getting a check in the back there. Tampa Bay Damage cannot get shot and get a penalty, and they get shot and get a penalty. Huge mistake there from Tampa Bay Damage. Opportunity switches. Now, Houston Heat has an opportunity to get in this game. Not sure if they even saw the penalty or the guy leave the field. They're not reacting as if they did.
Yeah, I don't know if Houston Heat knows the count.
Yeah, those 2 Damage guys. Oh, the Damage guys they should have walked off in the other pit and walked off the field. They're definitely going to see that it's a 53 now.
Advantage to Heat to try to tie this game up here with 8:40.
Yep, and Houston Heat's calling 53, which means 5 of their players alive, 3 players on Tampa Bay Damage alive. Now Houston Heat has to find out which 3 players are alive, which position those players are in, where their barrels are predominantly looking, figure out where the zone control is from there, and get through this 3-on-5 situation.
Sam Monville crawls to his spot in the wedge lane. I can see why he got the start here on Sunday with the deep roster that he has been playing very well from that wedge.
I mean, he does play really good, but I think it has a lot to do with the hair, too.
You know what I mean? No, first commentator curse of the day.
Jesus, Matt, that was cold-blooded, bro.
He comes around and just gets smoked.
Yeah, I think he got shot by the Dorito can. It might be Jason or Jacob Edwards there.
So getting a little closer here on the count.
4-on-3 advantage. Houston Heat disadvantaged in the set that they're still down a point, and they have to go forward and win this point into this zone. They have a body. They need to use that body before they get somebody else dinked out. Use that body advantage, get down, press, put some pressure on Tampa Bay Damage. If they just sit back there and let those guys play relaxed paintball, here goes Fedorov, big move all the way to the 50.
Yeah,
I'd like to see him get engaged in this game finally.
Yeah, he's taking a big bite, goes all the way to the brick, and going to wrap around to present a threat here. And you don't see there's no one in the snake right now for Houston Heat.
No, and again, this field is so challenging, Matt, because it's just so hard to see what's going on. And when people reposition, you don't see the reposition. So even if someone's calling a call, you're like, I'm 60% sure the guy's here, but he also could be here and he also could be here, and it just makes that decision-making tree very cluttered.
4-on-3 situation. The penalty on damage brought him down to 3. San Mountville got Cyclops. That brought Heat down to 4. Fedorov with the move to the brick. Tampa Bay Damage is now going to try to get out. It goes into a gun. That's a tough death for Jacob Edwards. He kind of stumbled a little bit on the dive in there, and then it looks like
it's disappointing.
Yeah, another body going to be coming off. So this point should be over relatively quickly.
Yep.
Houston Heat just looking at one body in the back corner bunker. I think that's Lackey back there.
Fedorov doing a great job of going up the field, getting that key kill, following that kill up, and now getting this last kill. Crucial.
Lackey's
paying the
pays
toll.
Pays the toll.
Houston Heat right back in this game.
So we'll have 6:26 left to go as Dizon's getting checked out by the ref. Thumbs up means the point is good. Do you send the same exact line out for Heat? Do you get someone else a spin? What do you think? It's a tied game. There's 6:26 left. The way this field's playing, these coaches have some hard decisions to make. There's not a lot of points being played, so you almost have to ride the hot hand in a way, or the hot line.
Yeah, I think as long as those guys all want to go back in, they get to go back in, right? If any of those guys like, hey, my hammy hurts, and save me for the next point or whatever it is, give them a break. But if you can ride that hot hand, ride it.
Well, and also, for the coach's decision, depending on how long that point goes and how much effort needs to be expended, you may have a guy gassed. If
Yeah,
he goes
for sure.
Plays, even if you're in decent shape and you go, paintball's basically combat yoga. If you haven't really seen it much before, it can wear on you a little bit depending on how much work you're doing. And yeah, if you have an 8-minute long point, maybe you'll have to sit one of your starters.
100%. Archie digging out to the corner for Dynasty, gets out there live.
It's going to be a full send here from X Factor. There's only have 33 seconds left, and they need 2. They lose
3. 2. They lose 2. They lose 3.
Now here comes Tom Guest. He does get through the 50. Always look for red flags in this situation.
One
and
on
we're going to
4.
see a red flag that's going to stop the time, and I think that was
Gotta be on Tom.
Yeah, I think that was on X Factor.
Yeah.
Because there was bodies left to pull. But, well, it doesn't matter. It's under 60 seconds, immediate swing point. But it should go to Dynasty, and that is going to probably be the definitive coffin nail here.
And that feels good because they lost to X Factor in the prelims coming in, and now they're like, well, when it mattered, that's when we won. And so that's going to feel a little extra good.
Because that game was almost all X Factor, right?
100%.
It's just so out here. I mean, it's so hard to beat any team twice in a row. I mean, because then they get to do so much homework on you, and especially if it's San Diego Dynasty, the best team in the world right now. They won 3 of 6 events last year. It is interesting from a fan perspective because when you see the same teams play each other back to back, it's almost like one extended long game that happens to have like an overnight dinner break and a meeting, and they get to see them play again.
Yeah, it's also interesting though that X Factor was so dominant in that match yesterday that they probably didn't go back and do as much homework as Dynasty did after that ass whipping, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. The mentalities going into the meetings last night were probably a little bit different, right? Like, hey, we're super confident. Those guys sucked. That was pretty easy. Good night. Like, hey, those guys are really good. We kind of sucked. What are we gonna,
Yeah. I mean, that's got to bring that up because everyone's been in those meetings before, so.
Too many meetings.
And when you do take it wasn't like a complete beatdown, but on a field like this, it plays a little slow. I mean, they only think they won by 3, but they were controlling it the entire time. So anyway, jumping back into this next one here, tied up, 6:24 to go, and it's a 1-1 game, and looks like they are going to spin Connor Kelly, and Connor Kelly's going to get shot trying to get to that wedge, but 2 bodies coming off right now for damage, so it's going to be a 3-on-4 situation here in favor of Houston Heat.
Yep. Houston Heat with 2 attackers on the snake side in Chad George and Tyler Harmon. Damage with 2 players also here on the Georgia side with Jared Lackey in the tower there. Tyler Harmon now filling into the tower. Oh, Houston Heat flying up the D side match, get all the way to D4 over there. I believe that's Ronnie Dizon.
Yeah, Dizon looking quick.
And if you can get up that Drew side and they don't know you're there, you can sneak a couple kills.
Agent Smith goes up to the brick.
Yeah, nice move by Smith. I like him up there.
I don't know if he knows that Ronnie's in there. Ronnie just saw Smith. Yeah, Ronnie's going to come out and get a shot here on Brian Smith. Beautiful job by Ronnie. Dizon to keep his head on his swivel.
Wow, Ronnie's playing really well over there.
Yeah, Smith had no idea that Ronnie made it up that far. It's going to force a concession from Joey Bluth.
From Joey Bluth. That might have been the point of the match, Matty.
Well, it wasn't looking good initially. I head check over to Houston Heat, see Connor Kelly walk off. Then I head check over to Damage, like, oh, wow, they lost 2 off the break. So, and then Dizon being the difference maker by getting into D4 and getting that intelligent kill cross field. He didn't spend time getting tunnel vision on that sideline, wrapping around and looking to move forward. He intelligently, hey, I'm in a spot. Let me check off this lane. Oh, Smith made it all the way, and he
Oh,
has
hello.
no idea that I'm here.
Oh, hello. Yeah, you know, he got that little tingly feeling when he saw that. He's like, it's never this easy. Never you just look over and see a dude's head. This is amazing.
So Dynasty Major was on probably Tom Guest for San Antonio X Factor.
Starting with 4.
And they will start with 4, but this game's over. Again, point spread doesn't mean anything right now. Dynasty with the big cushion and, 20 seconds left to go. So it's just going to be, what is the score going to be? All right,
Dynasty loses 2 on the break. Jesse Stevens runs all the way at the field. Gets 1.
Colt Roberts is coming through, too. And
Dynasty with 2
take out
players left.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But Greenspan just a gun turret from that back center, rolling off the clock, and that is going to do it. San Diego Dynasty going to be moving on to the semifinals. The #1 ranked team in the world with an amazing run they've been on, well, essentially for 2 decades, but particularly this resurgence we've seen out of them.
Once they picked up that new kid, Alex Frazier, that just brought a new energy into the team and just completely changed the team dynamics back to just, super kill.
Well, Dynasty won, they won 3 of 6 events last year, and it was just complete dominance for San Diego Dynasty. And yeah, they got some smiles all the way around. There's Chris Shear, the new pickup coming over from Revo, and they also got Harrison Fry on the team. They did lose Dalton to Impact, but it's kind of hard to say no when Dynasty gives you a call and said, hey, we'd like to pick you up. Let's do it. So
it's that call that everybody wants.
They're feeling good. They got a little revenge here against San Antonio X Factor. And unfortunately for X Factor, Dynasty's been a little bit of their kryptonite. They've met in the finals a couple times past 3 years.
I called it yesterday. I was like, man, they're so good. They're so technical. I was like, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they just don't match up very well with Dynasty.
Now, Dynasty will play the winner of the Hurricanes and New York Extreme.
So Dynasty and Extreme, that's going to be a good game. Houston Heat getting fired up in the pit, rubbing each other down. Chad George, Tyler Harmon have a little last-minute communication. What's Tampa Bay Damage got to do here, Maddie?
Well, they need to stay alive on the break. They lost 2 in that last one. That's ultimately what cost them. Yeah, Ronnie had a good move up on the D side to get that kill on Smith, which then precipitated the concession. But yeah, get 5 alive, hopefully. Shoot a body for Houston Heat. Houston Heat's been pushing the issue a little bit more than Damage, but, now the Damage needs one. There was a couple plays that Damage was running. They had one of the most aggressive plays where they ran Chad all the way past the 50 in the center off the break, which is one of the biggest moves that we've seen.
Yeah, it was a great move.
Still waiting to see who we're going to give this $1,000 to, courtesy of the Mary Catherine and Pate Smith family for best move of Sunday. We have a lot of paintball to play, but the way this field's
Houston
playing...
Heat drops 2 on the break, Matt. They do shoot 1 4-on-3 advantage for Tampa Bay Damage. I apologize.
But the way that this field's playing is we're not really seeing a ton of crazy dynamic moves. It's a lot of methodical. It's gunfights. It's little bites here and there, and it looks like Jacob Edwards coming off, Ronnie Dizan coming off, both from the D side for these 2 teams. Here comes Rainey Stanzik, who's going to get into the break for Tampa Bay.
Rainey might get a crossfield kill as the player fills the corner, and he does. Rainey sees that, calls it. 4-on-2 advantage here now for Tampa Bay Damage as Rainey moves into Houston Heat side of the field. Rainey having a really, really good game here. Rainey's now turning around, communicating to the guys behind him.
Still about 4.5 minutes to work with here for Damage. They're flooding down the field. They're into D4 with Chad, and here comes Jason Edwards to join Rainey at the 50-yard line, but there's just that one body in the back corner bunker with, looks like Tyler Harmon, who's going to run out and get blasted. He did. He traded with Jason.
Yep.
It doesn't matter, though, because Rainey and Chad Bougere are still left alive. So Rainey going to run in, hit the buzzer. So a little over 4 minutes left to go. Tie game 2-2. Got ourselves a battle here. Could see probably, is this going to be the last point, or do we see 2 more points?
Yeah, it depends on the breakout. This breakout is going to be crucial for both teams.
Do you run the same line, or do you try to switch again?
Now that it's true X-ball, right, and you got at 2 minutes between the points, you got a solid 2 minutes, I think you run the same line. Unless you had somebody in that line that you were resting for somebody else, or if you have somebody, or it could be play dependent, right? Depending, like, hey, are we trying to win this slow or fast? Because if we're trying to make it a slow point, maybe I pull this guy in. If it's going to be a fast point, maybe I pull this guy in.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Rainey again for Damage, the Edwards brothers, Chad, and then not sure on that fifth body.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, with those 4, and then it could be Lackey, it could be Brown, there could be several different people.
Maybe even Horn.
Yeah,
depending on what they want to do with the play, right?
It's always tough for me to put a non-veteran guy into that really clutch position, because then if they make a mistake, it's like, did he make that mistake or did I make a mistake putting a non-veteran in?
Well, then with Brian Smith, right? He goes up, makes the mistake. Yeah. He wasn't able to see that Ronnie was in D4, and that kill cost him in that last one before. But, man, Agent Smith's one of the best, right? So
100%.
Maybe he's that fifth guy.
Smith is perfect for me, yeah.
Yeah, so that would probably be
Holiday. I mean, they have lots of options.
Yeah, so that would kind of be right around that. And then for Heat, though, I mean, do you put Sam back out there, or do you try to spin Connor again?
I think you put Sam back there for sure.
Yeah, I think you go with Ronnie. He seems to be right. They got to ride the hot hand,
It's
right?
almost not fair to put Connor in there and put that kind of pressure on there, because obviously if he wins, his confidence is going to go through the roof. But if he loses it for the team, he's going to feel horrible, right? And you're trying to build that kid into somebody. You want to give him opportunities to be successful, not opportunities to fail.
So they are going to go with Sam. They're going to go with Ronnie Fedorov, Tyler, and Chad George. That's the starting lineup here for Houston Heat. They're on your screen from the red side of the field. This tie game here, 2-2. Taking some ground outside, D side, both teams. A little bit more forward progression here up on the snake side with Chad George getting to insert bunker. Ronnie and Ronnie Dizon going into the wedge, and so does Chad George, or so does Chad.
Tampa Bay Damage, the first player out of back center.
Yeah, it's Jason Edwards.
4-on-5 advantage for Houston Heat as Sam Monville releases from the center temple into the center laydown. Ronnie Dizon has now switched that wing from looking rear side to looking outside. He gets a kill on Jacob Edwards, and now
Chad
is taking the walk. Rainey's the only one out there left for Tampa Bay Damage. This is going to be a point for Houston Heat here. Damage should concede this point, right?
You would think.
They have to, right?
3:33 left. It's a 5-on-2.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they're not conceding this point right now.
I mean, Joey's right there. He's thinking about it. I mean, he's on that. So he's on the blue side right now. And then now Rainey
was smart to attack there and die so that this could be over.
Yeah, because Rainey's one of those guys that's, if he's not playing, he's always hovering around helping the coach and, hey, we should concede the not. But so yeah, I think that was an intelligent play for Rainey. He's in a bad spot, looking at a ton of bodies for Houston Heat. No one's dead, and so he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to try to make a big move right here, and if it works out, cool. If it doesn't, well, that's going to give Joey his answer.
Yeah. Let me help you make this decision.
And it gives him enough time to come back here and put a potential tying point on the board. Another great break off the break shots here from Houston Heat, winning a little bit more after the break, winning some gunfights in the pits right now with Houston Heat. Probably got to run that same line again. Yeah, it's interesting. You can hear there Tyler Harmon, hey, Houston Heat, that's something that we need to be better at. We need to be perfect out there, even though they just kind of almost blew damage off the field in that last point. But that's what it takes at this level.
It's the pursuit of perfection, right?
Yeah.
None of us get there, but we're all trying to do it and at the highest level possible.
Interesting, though, this is something, it sounds like Tyler might be losing his voice. His big voice is a huge part of the communication. He plays every single point, and his voice typically has decent stamina, but it was
everybody's Sunday afternoon starts getting blown out.
Yeah, but some more than others, and I really haven't heard him horse that horse that much before. I mean, I'm getting the audio not at optimum levels, but
guys in the truck, can we get Matt that audio at optimal
level?
Well,
no, it's not my point, right?
Oh.
But it's sorry, Rich, but good looking out. But yeah, so 1 point spread right now, and it looks like we are going to see Rainey, Jason Edwards.
Tough position for those guys, man.
Smith is coming out, Chad Bougier, and Jacob. Yeah, so that's the starting five, we thought.
That's the all-star starting. Yeah.
And they are going to run the exact same line. Yeah, good. I totally agree with these coaching calls right now with how things are going. I was wondering with Tampa Bay, just because they kind of got blown up that point, they're definitely going to be rested, but do you run that same exact line again? But I agree with it. So still 3:16 to go here. And Rainey going to go right into the wedge. They are going to be losing Chad Bougier, but Fedorov getting shot, so 4-on-4.
4-on-3. I think Sam just got shot. Might get a penalty.
No, it looks like he's good to go.
4-on-4. Sam got a good one there. Tyler comes out this way.
But Rainey,
and then Sam does get shot. 3-on-4 advantage here for damage.
Yeah, Rainey goes into the 50 brick here, snake side. And he's up and over the top, feeling no pressure.
Yeah, he got that kill, that crucial kill on Sam.
Houston Heat down the body,
really
trying to protect their lead. 240 now, as here comes Smith's going to move up here, snake side, get into the insert bunker. So a little bit change up of the
of the positions.
You know,
Smith's going to be on the snake side, and Rainey's up in that middle.
If Tampa Bay Damage can come back and win this match, it shows you how important one pickup is, right? Because if Rainey wasn't out there doing what he did the last point, they wouldn't have won. And if he doesn't pull off something big here, they're not in the same position. 4-on-3 advantage for Damage.
Field not spread on that D side yet here for Damage. They have the farthest body out is on an island at that can.
Ronnie Dizon just pumping paint through that snake gap, trying to keep anyone from going forward on the Damage's side of the snake field. Sorry, snake side of the field. Jason Edwards there looking to probe through the center of the field. He wants to go through and drop the hammer on somebody he can. He's putting a lot of pressure on Tyler Harmon, that stand-up tower, pushing Tyler Harmon back to the snake side of the field. Chad George is also getting some pressure, trying to wrap around. Tampa Bay Damage down the 50 snake. I don't think they know he's in there. If he can wrap around, he might get a shot on Tyler Harmon's pack.
Yeah, Ronnie focusing his gun here towards the snake side, try to see if he can catch Rainey slipping, but Rainey is just posted low. Knows he has a little bit of time, but not much. Down to 1:23, and Tampa Bay with the one extra body.
Yeah, Jason Edwards has the ball here. He's the guy who's got to go through this gap. He's got to just trade with one of these guys and leave their guys in a 3-on-2 situation. Tyler Harmon taking the walk from the tower.
Just 2 bodies left alive.
Yeah, we're going to have overtime.
Heat. And then Ronnie comes across. He gets blasted. Just Chad George now.
4-on-1.
Tampa Bay trying to count the bodies. 60 seconds to go. They need to start pushing forward. They only have one to worry about. Chad George checks off down the sideline to make sure he's not getting run down, and then gets clipped out. So they just put a lot of pressure on him. Then
Jacob Edwards running through to hit that buzzer at Tampa Bay Damage, finishing that point with 4 alive. Great point for them. Rainey Stazik, though, really kind of set the pace, started that, and helped close both of those 2 points.
Also interesting, too, they kind of switch things up a little bit. So they send Rainey with a big commit up to the brick early, and they send Smith outside. Smith had been going more towards the wedge earlier. Now they send him outside snake side. They lose Chad early, so Jacob had to stay alive at that can. And then they just did some good gunfights. He won a couple gunfights. So, yeah, man, this is a great battle. Houston Heat, Tampa Bay. They've actually been pushing the issue a little bit. I mean, we've had 6 points scored, so happy to see that.
This is a barn burner. This is basically a barn burner out here, boys.
For Sunday on this layout? Yeah, a little bit.
On this layout, for sure.
A little bit. Also, make sure you check out carbonpaintball.com. They got the team program. Use your phone to pull up the website right now. Hit a little pause on the stream.
Looks like they might be putting Connor Kelly back in, Matt.
And so with the Carbon program, you actually can customize your jerseys. They have a module on the website, and I believe it's not $20 for the jersey, but $20 to customize it. So check it out at carbonpaintball.com, and they are the provider of the Golden Barrel. Love what Jason Turbin, and the boys are doing over at Carbon. So, you think overtime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on the way both of these teams are playing and how bad I have to go pee, I can almost guarantee that there's going to be an overtime. And then it's probably going to go to 3 one-on-ones after that. And at some point, you won't hear me on the mic for a few seconds.
So
big point, man. Big bend, don't break point for these guys.
So they are going to get. So Connor Kelly going to get a spin here.
Pretty cool.
With not a lot of time left, so maybe you're going to try to use his wheels to send him as
get you that snake one, look inside, shut down the middle. That's what I would do.
I just want, we have moments like this, not a lot of time left. Is the intention to take it to overtime, or is the intention to steal a point on this layout? Not
overtime.
Obviously, it's a little harder to score super quick points out here. So
unless you shoot 2 guys on the break, but even then, it's still tough. If you shoot 2 and get a penalty, maybe.
Split screen breakout, damage from the blue side. Heat from the red side, and on the breakout with just 33 seconds left to go. And I was going to say, unless we see a couple kills. So they actually put Horn in.
I love the fact that he's trying to win this. Tyler goes through, gets nobody, gets caught. Chad George gets caught. 3-on-3 as Rainey gets peeled off.
Yeah, here
comes Dizon to the 50 Dorito.
Yeah, here comes Ronnie Dizon to Konstantin Fedorov, pushing the SUD side with now 14 seconds left to go. So they tried it up the center. They're going to lose Ronnie, and they have Connor Kelly and Fedorov still alive. Connor with a little retreat here. So, yeah, we're going to see an overtime point.
I love that Houston Heat tried to go win that point, though.
Well, as soon as they saw that first kill, okay, let's try it. Off to the races. They did wait a beat to see if they did get a kill.
And make sure they hadn't lost a couple.
Yeah, and then Tyler decided, all right, well, I'm gonna try to make something happen. But nothing. He got kind of cut in half, and then they didn't really have someone in position to play off of that.
that quick. So, yeah, we're going to be heading to an overtime point. Probably going to be seeing the same lines that we saw in the point previous to this come out to play this overtime point. And then, yeah, we could potentially see one-on-ones because, again, slow field. So, you know, in some universe, we're going to get through 5 minutes, and we will see the heroes come out. For Houston Heat, it's probably going to either be Fedorov or Tyler Harmon. And then for Tampa Bay, it's not a question. They're going to send out Jacob Edwards.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks. That would be fun. I mean, it would be funner if I didn't have to pee so bad, but I'll get through it the best I can.
We get it, Rich. Your eyes are floating, kidneys are hurting. I understand.
You know, I'm going to cut back on the beer the night before, so this doesn't happen next time, I promise.
No, you haven't had a beer in 25 years.
It's probably been longer than that.
You think so?
Probably.
I mean, well, you are getting old. So.
I'm ridiculous.
I like to remind you of that as often as I
and I appreciate that. But you don't have to. I'm reminded every time I try to stand up or walk somewhere. Oh, yeah. Ow. Oh, jeez. Sam Monville going out there with 33 pods. Okay. He's going to be pumping those in the gaps.
So Monville the first to take the field for this overtime point for Houston Heat. You know Tyler's going to be out there. He's the next to go. It's going to be Chad George, Fedorov. And for, as we wait for Houston Heat to send a fifth body out, we got
the brothers Smith, Rainey.
They're going to get Horn to spin.
And Horn, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe they're going to try to get outside on the drill side.
A lot of faith. Might be spent. Horn might be taking some ground D side.
Might try to get outside D side.
Yeah,
I would have scouted that.
So Rainey Smith. So no. Yeah, I think that's Jacob over there.
Yeah,
they're going to send Horn to D2 off the break, and Ronnie try to take some ground. Ronnie D's on shot off the break, and it looks like Horn able to make it. So it's a 5-on-4 situation as Rainey Stanzik on a delay fills all the way up to the 50, and he's going to look towards that D side. Houston Heat, tough situation right now, 5-on-4.
Damage in really good position here. They got a body position, and they got Rainey up in that 50.
Love to see Tampa Bay with the aggressive breakout. That's a gutsy play call here from Joey Blue and the boys.
It's smart, though, because you don't expect that, right? You expect them to set the defensive trap, basically.
Though as soon as we saw Horn go in, I'm like, okay, he's fast. He's going to be taking some ground.
Yeah. But they probably did that to pull the guns that way, so at least either he's going to get there or Rainey's going to get here. They're not going to shoot both of those guys.
Yeah, and they went to the tower, too. So even if they lose Horn, they still have Rainey in position up all the way at the 50.
Oh, Tyler Harmon taking the walk. He's in a tough spot here, man.
Massive kill here for Tampa Bay Damage. They get the shot on the big gunfighter, Tyler Harmon, and now just 3 bodies out there in a 5-on-3 situation. Houston Heat, low bodies. Can they get it done? We have seen some low body magic at this event, as we always do, but you can play defense on this field. So Tampa Bay probably going to be pretty confident with these numbers. Look for them to start moving forward, as they're not going to want to take it to a one-on-one when you're in a 5-on-3.
Yeah, and I feel like the low body situations that we've seen, they've had at least one guy in one of the key forward positions, and they were able to kind of protect off of that guy pivoting. And now Sam goes to one of those positions, in my opinion, giving them a better opportunity to get into this point. Sam going all the way
Sam
forward
gets
now.
Caught, and he gets shot too, and he went 3. He took a couple steps with that shot on his forearm, so he's lucky he didn't get a penalty there.
5-on-2 advantage for Tampa Bay Damage. Fedorov's trying to get outside, gets caught. Houston Heat has played their last point of this first event of the season. Looks really, really good, but just came up a little short against the superior team in Tampa Bay Damage.
But again, it's the team that smashed people in the prelims, right? So that Damage had a loss, so they had to have some hard conversations, and make some adjustments and learn the field a little bit more. Whereas Houston Heat just roll right on through the prelims, not having any problem.
If you want to be successful in life, take the hardest path possible, because when you get there, you can handle anything.
Yeah. It's just incredibly impressive here as Tampa Bay Damage able to take this victory. So Tampa Bay hanging tough with Houston Heat, taking the win in overtime. They're going to move on into the semifinals. They're going to be playing the winner of Edmonton Impact and the Brooklyn Bears. And then also coming up in this next quarterfinal set, we have New York Extreme and the Hurricanes, along with Impact and the Bears. Thank you guys so much for joining us, man. It's been a fun day so far. Can't wait to see who's going to win this first tournament of the year 2023. NXL Sunshine State Major. I'm Matty Marshall here at Go Sports. We'll be back.
Hey, this is Walker with Carbon Paintball here to talk to you about our SC custom jerseys. To start your team's design, head over to crbnpaintball.com, fill in some team information, including what colors, what template you want to base your jersey off of, upload your main team logo and any sponsors, enter your name and your number, and we're going to kick you back a 3D image of your jersey. The custom jersey is built on a 5-panel design that's all customizable. The jersey features a DWR coating all throughout the jersey, so it is water resistant. It also is stain proof, and it has side mesh venting. The jersey is also very fitted, so it has a compact neck collar, and it also features elastic thumb loops to keep the sleeves in place while you're sliding or running. To start your team design, head over to crbnpaintball.com.
We got a ton of great announcements, a huge show, and all the news and all the stuff that's going on. Possibly, allegedly. We are ripping right now. We got some sick giveaways.
Amazing. Everybody.
Communication, obviously, everybody knows is a big deal on the field. The way that you can talk to each other on the field with this mask on is something I've never experienced before. It's very breathable, and I feel like you hear that a lot from other companies, but this is truly different in my opinion. Every time I'm yelling, I can still hear people next to me talking. We were kind of climbing up the ranks when Carbon was kind of too. Walker and those guys have just been awesome to us. You know, anytime they're testing new stuff, they hit us up. It's not like a one-way conversation. It's felt like with some other sponsors in the past. They understand that like people like me don't like to have, you know, crazy thick arm pads with a jersey that has stuff on your wrists and stuff like that. It's stay as light as possible so you're comfortable, you know, in these hot days. Every year we have a choice to go somewhere else with our sponsorship, and after 4 or 5 years with these guys, we're still here. Like, we're still next to Carbon because we choose to be.
Walker here with Carbon Paintball to discuss the Zero goggle system with you guys. We have the Pro version and then the SLD. What you're going to notice first is the color options. The Pro, it is a semi-translucent Airflex bottom. That's the mask region. And then with the Solid series, it is just a solid color. It's opaque. They're both exactly the same durometer. They're both the same softness or squishiness. Other than that, you're actually going to get a clear lens with your Pro goggle. They both come with a case, and another cool feature of the Pro model is a dual silicone strap versus a sublimated strap on the SLD. And last but not least is another cool highlight is the Pro has some orange accents versus the SLD comes with black. For more features and information on sizing and pricing, visit carbonpaintball.com. Hey everyone, this is Walker with Carbon Paintball, here to show you guys our SC and our CC pant. You're probably already familiar with the SC pant. We've had that for a few years now. It's a 3-layer Gore-Tex pant. If you're looking for something a little bit lighter, a little bit more of that newer style, that jogger cut, that would be our CC pant. Just came out here, it has the drawstring waist. It's got a little bit of taping in it. It is water resistant throughout, and it's got a reinforced knee region. The CC pant features a tapered leg similar to a jogger cut, but it's going to give you a little bit more room than the average pant. The pant's available in sizes small all the way to XXL and is available at crbnpaintball.com.
Back here, 2023 NXL Sunshine State Major. We are in the quarterfinals and the games that are about to go down. Figure out who moves on in this tournament. New York Extreme and the Hurricanes, Impact, and the Brooklyn Bears. I'm Matty Marshall. Got Joe Barrett up here from LA Infamous with Rich Telford, paintball legend, to help us call this set. Looks like the Hurricanes and New York Extreme going to be point number one out here, and it looks like Extreme going to go pretty aggressive. You know, they've been playing this field probably the most aggressive of any team that's this deep into the tournament, and they get 3 bodies up very quickly to the 40 or the 50-yard line. Pat Kraft at that 50-yard line. Brick looking towards the snake side. Rich, your boys are looking pretty good right now here, point number one.
Yeah, they're doing amazing, man. They've been really, really working hard. Will Hennessy now taking an early walk. Got a weird bounce off a weird angle there. 4-on-5 advantage for the Hurricanes.
So, Joe, unfortunately, you guys did get knocked out. Only 2 points played. You were also playing incredibly fast as well, too. But I'm sorry. No, it's very frustrating. But give me your thoughts on the Hurricanes New York Extreme battle. It's about to go down. It's different stylistically.
Yeah, well, I was going to say their styles look like they are completely conflicting. But on this first breakout, Hurricanes just played a completely different point than they have the entire tournament. Basically going 4 wide, 2 to both sides immediately, and exiting that back center up the middle. I mean, they played all pocket against us. So if they play like this, it seems like that means they've done their scouting on New York Extreme, and they're not going to just sit in that pocket and give New York a chance to, just pick them out of the spots where you expect them to be.
Yeah, Hurricanes able to get a body out wide with Ripple. They have body up at the wedge, and body out wide, D side as well too, back corner bunker. Yeah, I mean, Joe, basically what happened was they won the first point, and then you guys took some ground, and it was an incredibly long first point, and then you lost 2 back players with still 2 front players up there, and they had more bodies than you. I mean, it was a pretty simple breakdown of what happened with you guys, but it's just got to be frustrating. I mean, you guys scored 8 points in one of your wins yesterday, and then you just went home only playing 2 total points. And it's again, just crazy how this field has been.
So what was the strategy there, Joe?
Well, we had this game pretty much figured out, and we knew if we got 2 guys up to those middle blocks crossed, they locked the field well, and then your back 3 guys are pretty much more free to play ball. It's kind of an opposite playing field. The only issue is we lost that first guy up at the Dorito side brick almost immediately, and that pretty much loses all the eyes looking into that snake side zone. And then Hurricanes are smart enough to just play the numbers game.
Looks like Tim Stetzel getting shot from that snake 1 position.
Bad death there from Tim Stetzel, not for sure. He's looking around, might have got a bounce shot or something. 5-on-3 advantage for the Hurricanes. Hurricanes just play really, really disciplined paintball in this field. They just don't make any mistakes. They don't give you anything.
Yeah, and that's perfect style for this specific field. They're going to get a shot on Pat Kraft, so it is not looking good here for New York Extreme. They probably should concede this one. They're going to need as much time as possible. And
good concession.
Yeah, nice concession here from New York Extreme. But, Rich, this first point went, we just were quickly talking off camera, and we had brought it up a little bit as I was asking Joe, but stylistically, you couldn't have really two different teams.
Oil and water. And what's really going to be interesting is to see how the New York guys make that adjust. What their adjustment is going to be. Do they try to go out and do the game plan that they just did and execute it better, or do they make an adjustment based on what what the Hurricanes are doing, like Joe said, going outside?
Yeah, and we were kind of wondering, okay, if the Hurricanes do go up a point or two, can New York still playing aggressive get through that cross? Because
tough.
Infamous was not able to do it. And Joe, you had said, okay, we get our two bodies up, they cross it up at the 250 bricks, and that gives our back players more freedom. The problem was, with that freedom, they got a little sloppy in some gunfights, and those two deaths ended up costing you, because then now you're down bodies looking at 3-on-5 situation and couldn't find a way to get across, and you didn't have that many that many spins.
Impact dropping one in the break, Matty.
Yeah, so Edmonton Impact here going to be sending JC up pretty far, insert bunker snake side. He gets taken out off the break. Looks like Altimore is going to be taking the walk, though, but they immediately fill it with Scotty Graham. I like the combo of Graham and Altimore because they both play, they were both playing really well. So to put them together, but they're just both looking into paintballs.
Scotty just gives away a free kill, dives into the same spot that got shot. You know what shoots that bunker. It's the third Dorito.
Yep.
And then he just plays loose off the back and gets blown away.
4-on-3 advantage here early in this first point for Edmonton Impact.
Drew going to crawl up into the wedge here, and that D3 spot taken early for Edmonton Impact. I think that's Zupa in there, and that is just it's a brutal crossfield angle, Joe.
Yep. The Bears are very good at playing slow, disciplined ball. I mean, we saw it a lot last year when they were still Thunder, and their break shooting is good. They got themselves that advantage, but some of their guys they're playing at too fast of a pace. You can already tell they're looking to do a little too much and
standing over the top, shooting their guns for too long, engaging in too long in gunfights.
It's a slow field. Take your time.
Well, one of the things that we do see is you have these younger pro teams. I mean, younger in the time they've spent in the pro division, not necessarily in years, but yeah, they want it so bad. Oh, we want to move on past the first round of Sunday, but then they make these small mistakes because they over battle, and that ends up giving a big advantage to the more calm, methodical, yet still aggressive, experienced players that, like we see on Impact. Another body coming off for the Bears is GJ Sakaguchi, so not looking good for the Bears right now. They do a little retreat, but it's a lot to a little here, Rich, on the count.
Yeah, 2-on-4, Matty. Impact in all the spots. I think Impact might still think it's a 2-on-3, or they just might be playing conservatively based on how much time they want to eat on the clock in this field layout.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you have a big body advantage, you want to win the point, but win it slow or force the concession because now time's your friend.
Yeah.
Time is not their
Bears
friend.
Bears were smart to concede that.
And make sure, if you're joining us on your social media networks, please head on over to Go Sports to watch the conclusion with the best paintball players in the world throwing down here in the quarterfinals. Dynasty already in the semifinals. Tampa Bay Damage as well, too. Dynasty took down X Factor. Damage took down Heat. We're still in the quarterfinals right now. So the winner of this New York Extreme Hurricane match is going to face Dynasty. And then the winner of the Impact and Bears match is going to play Tampa Bay Damage. And if you are joining us, thank you so much. It's a beautiful morning out here in Central Florida. And we are watching the first big battle on the tour of the NXL season here in 2023.
Do we think the Hurricanes are going to try to get it back outside, or do we think they're going to pocket up?
Joe, what do you think?
I think they're going to go outside again.
Pocket.
Well, we got a little conflicting opinions from the experts here. Looks
Pocket.
like Stewart takes a hard bounce, but they did not bounce Pate. Pate going to take the walk. Nick makes it out wide. Nick Ripple.
Wheeling and dealing up there in that center 50. 4-on-5 advantage here from New York Extreme. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
Yeah, this is one you got to win, man. You're playing a team that's real good at locking it up. You just got a nice kill on one of their best players, and you've taken ground, so Pat looking for it. I mean, Pat played that middle better than anyone in the prelims. I mean, if New York goes